Eye drops. Eye drops. Me, Proudly Radical. Welcome, travelers. You. When he says I'm gonna get that down to like 4 words. No, 5. Me, Proudly Radical. You, traveler. Welcome. 6. There we go. So Solaris. Solaris and I were talking before the stream started. So what was the conversation like? What was it about? Solaris encountered their first Nazi on Twitch and apparently had a conversation or an exchange or an interaction of some form or fashion with them. If you're wondering, I've had a few neo-Nazis actually come through my parts, including one actually asking for National Socialism channel recommendations. The nuts on some of these fuckers. It's amazing. So he DM'd me because I kept asking him to define communism in the chat, and he refused. Well, I mean, that's just because he's scared of communism, because communism kicked the shit out of fucking Nazism. Sir, hang on. All right, well, is what it is. Yeah, fucking Soviets. I mean, I'm not a fucking tanky. I'm not a fan of the Soviets. I'm not a fan of a lot of that shit. But man, did they kick the ever-loving shit out of the Nazis. That's interesting. So what do you have to say? Feel free to type away. Take your time, Solaris. As for everybody else, hey there, Bush. Hey there, RV. Hey there, Laura. Hey there, Ivory. And anybody else who may be lurking at this point in time. Yeah, I feel kind of shitty. I felt kind of shitty for a couple of days. For those of you who know, I'm basically broken physically. And so eventually that sort of, all culminates into a variety of interesting symptoms that, wears on me mentally. And I sort of have, a cycle that this follows. I do what I can to pick myself back up and dust myself off. But occasionally I got to have a day or two to just break down. And yesterday was one of those days. I was not having it yesterday. So yeah, to be perfectly honest, I could have easily taken today as well, but the truth of the matter is that streaming keeps me a little sane. I started podcasting back in the day to keep myself sane. Nice to see our depression cycles lined up. Glad to hear it, Kat. Our cycles have synced up. We've clearly spent enough time together. Oh, yeah, it's and there's something. Where's some chill EDM or something? See what we get out of this. There you go. Leave that there. I expect today, and I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow and the next day. Did a 45-minute stream yesterday and just checked the fuck out. Yeah, you gotta avoid doing those. You sort of like have to commit, so you don't completely fuck your metrics. I know you're not at that point yet, but yeah, something to think about. All right, so I love electronic music. I love techno and electronica. I like vocals if it's like 3 or 4 lines throughout the whole song. If you're trying to sing on top of it, I hate it. It drives me nuts. Yeah. Push, same. Yeah. You gotta avoid doing that metric hammering bullshit, like drum and bass. Nice, Ivory. I wish I could play my collection. My old DJ sensibilities kick in, need mixable stuff. Rock on. I wish I could play my collection. I've got a collection spanning decades. and some really great electronica that is, in my playlists, but it's all copyrighted. It's all IP shit. So can't touch most of it, or basically all of it. Yeah, and the Omnibus, the new copyright protection stuff. Yeah, luckily it doesn't affect the streamer themselves. Usually it affects the service, but fuck all of it, right? Why do I need to add nuance to this conversation? I'm done adding nuance to it. Fuck these assholes. Fuck that bill. Fuck everybody involved with it. By the way, one of the advocacy groups, one of the lobbying groups behind that edition is actually has Microsoft as one of their major factors behind their company. So it looks like Microsoft was sort of tentacling their way into that one as well. Either way, fuck all of them. IATSE, big Hollywood unions talking about how good it is. Of course they are. Of course they are. What? Yeah, no, you're not getting that check. Which one? Theatrical stage employees. Why didn't I know that off the top of my head? I should have known that one. Well, maybe because I'm still completely out of it. Yeah, the $2,000 stimulus check is political theater at best. I doubt it. One, it's going before a straight unanimous vote in the House. One single Republican votes against it. It fails. Two, it would have to make it past the Senate. Hey, Momo. And three, the likelihood of it happening before the Biden administration is highly unlikely. So, but hey, here's to your hope. Shit. As always, Momo, how about yourself? God, I wish I could just play what I want to play. Drilling dice at the moment. Interesting. You waiting them to take them to the casino with you? Yeah, I'm with Ace on that one. $600 are coming our way. Rejoice. I know, right? No, I'm making them into jewelry. Well, you might want to consider sneaking them into a casino, the rate we're going in this country. Love the fact that we're demolishing illegal stream platforms into the relief bill. Americans who are starving should give a shit about that. It's not even a relief bill. It's the omnibus. The relief stuff got tacked onto it. But yeah, there's all sorts of stuff in the omnibus. Ivory, if you're speaking to me, no. If you're speaking to someone else, then feel free to answer someone else. But no, I'm in Las Vegas. It's not snowing here at all. Hey, me, Trey. And oh yeah, I don't know if anybody caught what Mike Pence said. No. I was born in Vermont. I haven't lived there in many years. Yeah, it's been a lot of years since I lived there. Jesus Christ, the autofocus on this tonight is weird. We'll see. No, well, yes, technically, Arias, it is technically milk, but it's not milk. I don't drink dairy. It is a protein drink of sorts, though. The omnibus bill, Momo. The omnibus bill is a bill that that is basically a compilation of bills. It's basically, I would say, the greatest hits. It's to prevent the government shutdown by them not passing all of the necessary bills that they need to pass. So rather than have 12, 15, or 18 budgetary bills that, you know, are required for this, and this, okay, I just wonder if there's a source I can just spam everywhere. Let's see. No. No. You're gonna have to explain it to people. You're just gonna have to be like, you know, yeah, no, the omnibus is also known as the Consolidated Appropriations Bill, which would probably go a long way to explaining to people what the difference is. The relief bill is a subset of the Consolidated Appropriations Bill, aka the omnibus. But no, I didn't see a concise, ready source upon first glance that you could just spam out there. Do you want me to just put a definition of both on my website and give you a link to a page that you'd be like, here, you stupid fuck? About the best I could do for you. Oh. Everybody see Mike Pence say that the left wants to make the rich poorer and the poor more comfortable, and he said it as a bad thing. Yeah, it's okay, Momo. Yeah, it was definitely an interesting line. The full quote gives context. It still doesn't sound great. Mike from PA is a shit. I don't really know much about that person, to be perfectly honest. When we cut taxes, roll back regulations, and advanced freedom, their agenda is higher taxes, open borders, socialized medicine, a Green New Deal, and abortion on demand. Mr. Pence told a crowd of activists from Turning Point USA. They want to make rich people poorer and poor people more comfortable. Yeah, it's Momo, I mean, yes. This is how you know. Okay, so this is my deal with Mike Pence, right? Like, he's got, under the Trump administration, he's had a bunch of bad actor stuff. But prior to that, to be perfectly honest, he's just an ideologue, right? I'm okay with an ideologue. It's just he sits on the other side of the fence on these issues, right? We disagree. Mike Pence and I fundamentally disagree on life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, existence itself, the very nature of the fabric of existence we disagree on, right? But it's a legitimate disagreement. He views this from the other side of this. He's not just in it to fatten his pocketbook, though he'll do that along the way. He has no compunction about doing that. He has a difference of opinion on how this country should be run. And yeah, I came to this information. He's had varying ebb and flows, with his finances. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, he used his campaign funds because he fucking quit his job and, like, you know, leveraged his assets to run a failed campaign. He'll push his chips all in. He's an interesting dude. He's crazy. He's scary. One could even describe him as terrifying. But as a political opponent, I do respect him. I really do. he's not Trump. He's not Mitch McConnell. He actually does have some beliefs underlying his craziness, right? Like there's honor in being the opponent. And he is most assuredly the opponent. Don't fool yourself for a second. Oh yeah, because he believes in prosperity gospel. Arias. Yeah, he believes in prosperity gospel. He believes in that, you are rich because of the blessings of the Lord. It's crazy. It's absolutely batshit insane. But he does believe it, it seems. He's had one of the weirdest character arcs of any human being. JFK Democrat, and Irish Catholic, to born-again evangelical Christian and Ronald Reagan conservative. It's a weird arc. It's a weird arc, and he did that in college. He went to college and came out more conservative than he was when he went in, which is not an easy thing to do. When going to, a not private Christian school or BYU or some shit like that, right? It's a difficult arc to actually accomplish. Yeah, I've done. I guested on somebody's podcast a while back and did the entire episode was on Mike Pence, and so I was assigned Mike Pence to do research for, and other podcasters had different people during the campaign. But yeah, I've a couple weeks worth of research into Mike Pence, and I still have questions to this day. Do you have any thoughts or opinions on Germany? I know it's kind of a interesting country. Seem to have learned a lot of the lessons that other countries didn't learn from World War II, maybe because it was a little more personal. Heart Joe is from Germany. If you want to talk to somebody in community, J Miles, that's from Germany, that you can speak with some level of authority. He's presently in Mainz, but decent social safety net, a little bit of an strong hand within their government, but far from what anybody elsewhere would call a strong hand. They do have a rising right, sort of like crypto-fascist sort of problem going on, just like a lot of the developed world at this juncture, seemingly born of a populist movement. But yeah, interesting country to me. Yeah, if you want to know more from like a native perspective, speak to Joe. His English is fucking amazing. It's better than actual native English speakers in many instances. But yeah, he'll speak freely about whatever you probably have questions about. And if you're in Discord, you can just hit Joe up, and I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to you. Cheap beer and inexpensive beer. If you're looking, I think it's subsidized at a state level even. High standards for their beer, but inexpensive nonetheless. Yeah. And super relaxed. Thank you for the follow, Arias. Super relaxed on the cannabis thing. I know Joe tells the story where he's had federal cops catch him with weed in a transportation hub, and they just fucking, get the fuck out of here. If I had the opportunity to talk with Joe Rogan on a podcast, what would you talk about? What questions would you ask? All right, so let me start in the end. In the end, because I know it would make the conversation uncomfortable, in the end, I would have to critique his use of his platform and how he platforms people who are dangerous to the societal good, right? I would have to take him to task for some of these assholes he puts up and lets talk on his platform. I would have to. I'm going to have to comment on that before the episode is over, right? So, with that being said, let's rewind into the beginning of the conversation. One, I would want him off air I'd be hitting him up for all of like those doctors he has, stem cell, HGH, fucking, hormone replacement therapies, all that crazy shit he's into. I'd be like, hey, can you hook me up with some of that? Like, can you, get me a solid? Right? I would be pumping him for favors early on, straight out of the gate. Stroke a little ego, fucking try and get some favors before I criticize him at the end. I think I would have to ask him about AJ. I would have to ask him about Alex Jones. Alex Jones he's insane. And, I was there for like the arc, right? I remember old school AJ. I remember like early 2000s. I don't remember like Sandy Hook, his good buddy Alex Jones. Yeah, we got to talk about Alex Jones. We have to. Like, do you have any stories? Because he's hung out with him. I have no idea, Kat. I have no idea. The stem cells might. Tell me a crazy Alex Jones story that no one knows, right? I want to know something about Alex Jones that other people have not gotten to see and, experience. Because I know they hang out, right? Tell me, do you have Doug Stanhope's phone number on hand? Can you hook a brother up? I love you, Joe. You're great. You're a good comedian. Doug Stanhope is the greatest living comedian in my opinion. So step aside. Can you put me in touch? Can you get me an invite down to Bisbee? I would shoot that shot if I had it. And then we'd get high and talk about aliens and shit. Yeah, like I'd try and point him in like a fun direction. Let's talk about doing psychedelics. Let's talk about Terrence McKenna. Let's talk about Alan Watts. Let's talk about the nature of existence when we're entirely too high to be talking about these topics cogently or coherently. I'd point him down that avenue. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Miles. And see, that's the irony of it, right? The turning frogs gay is really one of the closest things, more accurate things. It's not accurate because it was hermaphroditic, but in fact, there was, due to an influx of both pesticides, herbicides, and other endocrine disrupting compounds that were finding their way into the coastal waterways, there was a phenomenon of fish being turned hermaphroditic and having sexual intersex, increased rates of intersexuality amongst their ranks. And so we, no, the government's not spraying it intentionally. Corporations are. And no, it wasn't the frogs. It was, fish and other amphibians. But he was close, right? He was a lot closer than lizard people wearing masks and Hillary is drinking baby blood and shit like that. Yeah. It is funny that the thing that he will get made fun of the most is probably one of his more accurate statements, to be perfectly honest. The guy's batshit, though. Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to crowdsource that in the community, but I got distracted. We need to come up with stuff we want Alex Jones to say. I'm thinking a show promo or something good about anarchism. Yeah, specifically really talking to anybody but Kat, heads up on this one. I am going to get that Alex Jones impersonator to say a bunch of fucking stuff. Somebody pointed us in the direction of an Alex Jones impersonator on one of the previous shows. And he's super inexpensive. And so I'm gonna get Alex Jones to, talk, just gush about, how anarchism is the way forward and how, something, promo proudly radical, fucking, and other crazy shit. Yeah. So if anybody has anything funny, insightful, or just amusing to have someone that have Alex Jones say. LGBTQ plus, that's a good idea. Yeah, if anybody's got any suggestions, by all means, I'm looking for script ideas or suggestions of just general statements. So I'm gonna put a few Alex Jones clips on the soundboard. Should be fun. And maybe we get Kermit the Frog. I mean, Jordan Peterson. Get a few of these guys. Get Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, Alex Jones. Get a whole bunch of impersonations going. And just use their voices. But I really am amused by the Alex Jones one. So we talked about Mike. Oh, we didn't talk about the contractors, the Blackwater contractors that got pardons from Donald Trump for murdering children in Iraq. Yeah. Out of the 15 people that Trump pardoned, there was a group of, I believe, 4. Four. Dialogue between them. That would be a great start. That's a good idea. See if I can arrange that. Four contractors that were found guilty of multiple counts of manslaughter for their involvement in killing 11 or so civilians, including 9-year-olds and 11-year-olds, were pardoned by good old Donnie Boy. So, there's that. Yeah, I'll have to see. The AJ one is the easiest to do right out of the gate. Yeah. Yeah, but save the children. Exactly. Oh, also, one of my favorite things to fall out of somebody's stupid fucking face, these last couple of days, Cardinal George Pell, Mitre, your ears should perk up if you're still there. Cardinal George Pell, Catholic bishop, at one point, third highest ranking Catholic. He, Australian, doing time, for diddling kids, I believe. No, he's not in right now. He made a statement that people turned against me because of my conservative views. Yeah, Georgie boy. It, I'm sure it had nothing to do with the multiple counts of child rape. I'm sure that didn't factor in at all to why people hate you. It was his conservative views that turned people against him. It was broadcast from the UK. He said he would not apologize for his conservative views. I think my style is rather direct. The fact that I defend Christian teachings is irritating to a lot of people. For my basic Christian positions, I make no apology. When Jesus said, "Suffer ye little children," that's not what he meant, George. Oh, and that one was funny. A Satru Folk Assembly in Murdoch, Minnesota. Murdoch, Minnesota approved a conditional use permit for a church to open there that is going to be a whites-only church. And now, after this has happened, the Minnesota small town is defending itself because it's in an attempt to claim that it's not racist. You know, the town that approved a permit for a whites-only church. We're not racist. I honestly, I still giggle. I still giggle at that. The idea of this. I can imagine these assholes like defending themselves. Like, I just don't know why you would have that impression about us. I mean, how can you be prejudiced against us? Like, you're just prejudging us. No, bitch. Judging. From the creators of It's Not Because I'm Rich, It's Because I Have a Vagina comes It's Not Because I Violate the Very Core Tenet of Religion I'm a Major Figure in by raping multiple underage kids, It's Because I'm a conservator. Premarital. Well written, as always. Your grasp of the language is marvelous. Whites only is for their protection. Oh, it just tickles me. It really does. The idea of this town having to hold a press conference and defend themselves, and their shitty little mayor's office and town council's office, phone just ringing off the hook from national news, organizations and newspapers and news bureaus all over the fucking country when they caught wind of this story. Fucking, do you have a comment? Do you have a comment? Do you have a comment? We're not racist. Why do you think we're racist? Can't imagine what gave us that idea. The fact that you approved the permit, or the fact that you have enough of a demand for this that it's being built there in the first place. Just saying, maybe it has something to do with, I don't know, one or two of these things. I have a buddy who is infamously, I've talked about him before. Those of you who go back to the olden days will know who I'm talking about. But I have a buddy who's an actual real world pacifist. Like, for real. Like, he won't defend himself. He doesn't believe in any of that. He will take the hit. He will die. He will not. It's weird. It's fucking weird. The dude's a freak of nature. Truly. He has lived in Las Vegas his entire life, right? He's a native. Big city, right? We don't have that many, like, we've got as much racial tension as anywhere else in the US, right? Like, average, right? But having lived in the Deep South, having lived around this country, right? I've had a few more experiences than him in this arena. And me and another buddy are talking to him one night, and he says, I don't think it's as bad as they say it is. And we just started laughing at him. We're like, yeah, here's the thing. One, you're isolated. You need to get to know a Latino or, someone from the black community. Like, you need to know this. Or two, you need to move. Having lived in the Deep South, it's like, oh, it's not that bad. No, it really is. It's well enough of a mixed community here that he felt that he's never experienced an ethno state or a truly isolated ethnically isolated community like some of the haulers down in the Deep South or some of the hills up in the Northeast. Mayor Generic McWhite Dude, is it true that you were a member of the KKK in your college years? Our high school's football team has a Dominican kid in it. Oh man, I truly, it's one of the funniest stories. My conversation with that Nazi ended with me saying, "You've just never learned to come to grips with your small penis." Oh, Solaris. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, right? Like, what are you gonna have a conversation with somebody who's actually ascribing their, contemporary ideals and ideologies to, National Socialism, right? Fucking Nazism. Something tells me he does have a firm grip on his small penis. There you go. Just for you, cat. Oh, Jesus Christ. You should, yep. Yep, exactly, RS. I got a whole soundboard I can rely on. I get very ad hom with those types too. Can't help it. I start off good faith, but I end up there eventually if it continues. Never had a lover complain, so why should I care? Something about the word lover bothers me. Something about that. They only respect aesthetics and vitriol. It's all about power dynamics to them. Well, in that case. Oh, there we go. One sec. I'm just clicking around here. Just doing a little clicking. Clickety click, click, click. Well, I mean, he did have one undescended testicle. It wasn't that he was one bald. He just had one undescended. But no idea. There's only so much good faith they can give us in return. Like, unless they actually know in their heart they need to change. True. True. Yes. Good old, you can't reason someone into a position that, you can't reason someone out of, out of a position they didn't reason themselves into to start with. Okay, this isn't political. Well, I mean, I suppose I could spin it. So there's a phenomenon coming out of Indonesia. One of the news stories, like a cycle of news stories, is, hey, gas. You know, the latest trend amongst teens, how they're getting high now, that sort of thing. Indonesian teens are getting high by boiling used menstrual pads in water and drinking it. Do you know what your teen is doing? So, looked into it. There have been a couple of cases where it looks like hospitalization occurred due to poisoning due to this activity. So it has at least been tried. Is there an alcohol shortage or some shit? Dude, it's Indonesia. Alcohol is illegal. Or at least for a majority of the population it is. Remember, heavy Muslim population. Well, thank you. Welcome, and oh, Jesus, welcome. Lovely to see the ad hominems have started. If you'd like to have a conversation about politics or something, by all means. Hey. Amy's. Arias, I need more booze. But if you just want to, you know, throw aspersions, by all means. You know, I'll put up with you far longer than my mods will. It looks like it's the volatile organic compounds. It's the VOCs contained within. Love it. You into Bill Burr or just Jesus and yelling at folks? To you, RV. Yeah, well, it's everybody's right to make an ass out of themselves. If someone wants to, you know, do that, by all means. Oh. Cat, that's special. That's special. Got banned from the deep web. Yeah, the whole point of the deep web is to circumvent banning. Yeah, or yeah, did he defrag his memory afterwards too? Yeah, right after he downloaded more of it. I swear to God, people. Did they leave? I mean, that's always hilarious when they just, like, you know, fucking talk shit and walk out. They're a little punk bitch, but we'll see if we can't poke them into saying something if they're still here.
Beta!
I remember going to Best Buy to buy an emergency GPU. Mine broke and I had to mail it in for a replacement. And the guy told me that I could overclock it and increase my RAM. That is, I mean, technically it's VRAM. But that is mildly accurate, but wildly inaccurate to state to just a random person and without nuance. Then yeah, just bullshit. Yeah. It's people. Oh, what's that? Oh yeah, I played that. I don't need that on my wish list. The shit game. All right, let's see. Let me look at my list here. Paul Manafort. Hey, looks like we got another round. Jared Kushner's father and Paul Manafort have received pardons now as well. Trump's doing another round of pardons. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom to make huge stupid asses out of themselves or that of the press. I'm buying Cyberpunk after they fixed the 8 gig save file limit and then corruption. I was hesitant, but Deus Ex Human Revolution got me in the mood for some dystopia. I'm not sure CDPR is worthy of your money, Gas. Read between the lines. In no way, shape, or form would I advocate for anything that is illegal based on your locality and the laws therein. And thank you for the follow. It's a Trump Christmas miracle. Yeah. I have played a fair amount of that game, right? Haven't played it to completion, done a lot of side grinding. It is buggy as fuck and lacking in basically everything they promised. Yeah, they've yet to enable a version that disables a lot of it. And plus, there is a lot of flashing lights in this game, premarital. So if photosensitivity for that sort of, is a concern, it is best to stay away from this game. Just wholesale, whole cloth. Yep, I saw that. Can anyone imagine Snowden and Assange and Reality Winner being pardoned? That'd be the shit, and yet I highly doubt it. I know a bug in Cyberpunk, if you stack grenades and disassemble them from the weapon slot, you get XP for the full stack per item. Solaris, I officially today launched it with Wiimod. I'm just cheating. It's just another game at this point, right? Like, I play, you know, games I enjoy, like Hitman, which is my series. I play on master level, right? I play with every aid turned off, and I play it on master level, and I enjoy the ever-loving fuck out of that challenge. I'll spend 4.5 hours trying to get a level perfect, like just a perfect run. You know, that speed run I could probably do in 3.5 minutes, right? It's not that I'm challenge averse. It's just that if the game isn't worth my while, then why should I bother? So yeah, I ran it with Wiimod today, and I just was like, fuck it, unlock everything, give me millions of eddies, which is the cash, euro dollars, eddies. You know, give me all the stuff. Right? Like, give me unlimited double jumps. Like, just, I can just fly around the city now using unlimited double jumps and shit like that. You know, fucking, I've got like a 5,000, I've got a pistol that's got like 5,300 headshot damage on. Like, just done. I'm just playing it now. Like, it's not worth me, like, grinding anymore or putting in the time or, you know, the challenge isn't worth it. It's like, all right, I'll play it now. So, I find Deus Ex very engaging, even though I suck at stealth. The storytelling is phenomenal. I finished Mankind Divided, last month. Gas. I had never played it. And I didn't do the DLC because the game was buggy as fuck. It kept crashing. I probably had 25 or 30 crashes in the main game across the entirety of the story. But I'm a stealth game guy, right? Like, I will stealth the shit out of stuff. If there's a game that I can sneak around and then stab a motherfucker in the back, that's my game, right? And so, you know, I dug the stealth aspects of Deus Ex, for sure. You went full brawler in your playthrough. Oh, jeez. Doom Marine. Do I like the Arkham games? I feel like they got the stealth right. Okay, so my gold standard, like my platinum standard, right, would be Hitman World of Assassination. So 2016, 2018, 2021 coming up. That's gold standard stealth as far as I'm concerned. Followed behind that, something like Metal Gear definitely has a solid stealth element. The Arkham games would probably be on the tier under that. So, like, silver tier. You know, good. Don't get me wrong. You win a silver medal at the Olympics. You know, you're one of the best, plain and simple. So, yeah, or bronze. Sorry, bronze. Yeah, they're good. They're not my favorite, but they're good. Sniper Elite or Sniper Ghost Warrior contracts. Definitely good. One thing I've enjoyed is Cyber 27. You went full Rainbow and MGS Phantom Pain. Hey, Sue. We're just talking video games right now. We were making fun of some idiot, but they seem to have left, which is a shame. I wanted to actually, like, you know, a little bit. But, I heard you got, oh, I heard somebody called you a terrorist, Sue. Yeah, I heard somebody called you a terrorist. Somebody came into your chat, and yeah. Joe told me. We were talking last night. Or this AM, whatever. I think there was sleep between when he and I talked. There's footage of me lost in some godforsaken broken hard drive beating Dishonored without using any powers, buying any upgrades, being seen, killing any NPCs, only choking the 5 NPCs required to progress in the game, out of which there are only 2 of the main target in the missions. Ironically, what's the point of playing video if it's not cock and ball torture? Premarital. I use the powers. I will buy upgrades, but I have done a ghost no-kill run of Dishonored this year. I went back and did a ghosted no-kill run. Yeah. So I feel you on that one. Sekiro is the only game I'm decent at stealth. Interesting. I haven't played Sekiro. Not a fan of the Souls games, right? Like, not a fan. It's not my thing. It's not my genre. It's not my thematic type. Sekiro is more my thematic type, at least. Yeah. Oh, nice. One of your buddies is the lead environmental art designer in Dishonored 1 and 2. Were they put through crunch and fucking had a nervous breakdown? Oh, no. Really? Interesting. Yeah, I you know. Yeah, exactly. No. What a concept. Yeah, because I mean that's my, I guess they treat him way better than the other studios have. Oh yeah. That's could be worse. That's my biggest issue with Cyberpunk at this point, was all of the crunch that they put their developers through after promising that there wouldn't be crunch. And then the game is broken beyond belief. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. The crunch was pointless. It was just more corporate mismanagement, more hyper-capitalism, more public relations, marketing bullshit. All for nothing. CD Red was the chosen one. No, they weren't. They were coasting on their Witcher 3 reputation. Hey, Mudvayne. They were coasting on their Witcher 3 reputation. That's what they were doing. Which was broken beyond belief upon delivery as well, by the way. Yeah, it's, and, oh, since I unlocked the, since I enabled using cheats, unlimited double jumps, I've been flying around the city. The city's a set piece. It's a set piece. There is no activity above street level. Like, yeah, street level changes depending on the area you're in. But there is sort of a level that you can reach and you get above. There's nothing going on above it. It's just dead. There's things that look like there should be activity on them. Stairways and walkways and all sorts of stuff. Nothing. It's just dead. It's just one giant set piece with a very bad AI. Crunch was what made boggle my mind when Last of Us 2 won Best Game Direction. I heard that one was pretty bad too. I mean, there's no excuse for crunch. There isn't. It's just corporate mismanagement. That's all it is. Every single time. What you're looking at is managers who don't know how to schedule. That's it. Based in Austin. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's all it is every time. Oh. It would be cool if QA had to not be affiliated with any publisher and be the ones to determine deadlines. Or at least have a final say in it, yeah. But nobody's gonna do that. Answerable to stockholders and shit like that. Yeah, as shareholders and shit like that. I mean, the Discord server? Mm. Hey, Angie. Um, so how did it go when you told your father that, Angie? Yeah, that's the thing. I have to be hesitant, and then I have to do video editing.
Oh, hey. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, but give me a second. Let me do your volume levels. All right, now say something.
Let's just know you.
You're going to need to get closer to your microphone or speak up or something like that.
Let me make sure my mic is right.
Okay. Part of my new header. Hey, thank you, RV, and congratulations, Angie. Part of my new header. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Good for you, so. Always love a good rage quote. Tom Morello is he's not one of my favorite people, but he's definitely on the list of people I like, for sure.
Who's on? I want to know who's on the list of people you like.
Tom Morello.
Who is that?
Rage Against the Machine.
Ooh, okay, I know who that is.
Let's see. Let me dial you back just a touch. All right. Radham. Yeah. Tom Morello is responsible for one of my favorite Twitter takedowns of all time. Because he graduated, I think, magna cum laude from Harvard with a political science degree. And
oh yeah, yep, I've seen that very meme.
yeah, one doesn't have to graduate from Harvard with a magna cum laude in political science to have an opinion on this, but I happen to. Yeah, like go fuck yourself. So, what shall I call you? Hat, tiny hat, syndicalist, stranger?
Ooh, any and all of the above.
All right.
My pronouns are he, him. If you're, whatever.
Spectral. I don't know that movie. And fuck Death Stranding. Kojima just needs to make a movie. He just needs to make a movie and get it out of his system rather than making video games.
Am I giving you an echo?
No, you're fine.
Okay, awesome. Could I ask? So I want to clarify my own opinion on what's it called where they help minorities get into college? Affirmative action. Is that too edgy of a topic? I believe, like, I'm a far leftist, but somebody once said if you support universal college for everyone, you don't support affirmative action, and I don't think that's accurate.
Well, there wouldn't be a need for it.
Yeah.
Under a system of universal coverage of college, universal acceptance and coverage of college, there would be no needs for these things. Everybody could be admitted and paid for.
But, like, I don't think we should limit affirmative action just to colleges. I guess, like, it's about having a society that reflects our society. Like, if X% of the population is black, then X% of our Congress should be black. X% of our CEOs, executive board members, lawyers, whatever. It's about having creating a more egalitarian society. Somebody said what in the chat?
That's Sue.
Okay.
And
Hi, Sue.
SJ, yeah, oh boy.
Oh, is this not an SJW thing?
No, no.
Well, I mean, I'm not like super. I would identify as anarchist left. I don't know. Isn't okay. I definitely, I think I see Castillo there. I made it pronounced right.
Catasilo.
I think you're right because like as a leftist, it's just about creating like I think the best possible society ever. I I don't know. Thanks for entertaining me. I feel like I've made an ass of myself.
Um, is it limited to the population representation, or is it at minimal population representation? SJ wants to ask.
Ooh. I'm not sure. I guess I'd have to say no, but like if I say no, I feel like that discriminates against Asian Americans.
See, what SJ is asking
And-
is like if we hit our person of color quota, can no more
Which-
join?
You know what? You're right. That sounds problematic. It constitutes a problem. And that's why I'm not sure if I believe in affirmative action. I don't want to be an SJW, and I don't want to be an anti SJW by any means. I'm just, and I also want to acknowledge my privilege and experiences like a cis heterosexual white male, etc. But I want to formulate my own opinion on the fuck what affirmative action, and yeah, I like that. Like, what's wrong with being an SJW? I don't know. I just want to discover my own opinion. I'm not sure. Is affirmative action in society a good thing? What do you guys think? Yes. How? Can I ask? I want to hear arguments for it
Give me 1 second. I'll line someone up.
or against it. And also, actually, I have a comrade in the South, and he's like, it'd be really good. It's especially for that region, and like, I guess that's a whole other dynamic. He's like a tanky, and I'm sometimes about that left unity. Ooh, SJW 9000.
Hey, SJ.
Can I? Okay. Can I say it should be SJW over 9000? And maybe your picture should be Super Saiyan.
See, now you're just trying to give me like copyright struck.
Oh, I am. I didn't.
Everyone, Joe Rogan. Take it away, Joe.
So I'm late jumping in.
Welcome.
I just caught the tail end of that, so I don't really have any context to like how you guys built up to this.
It was
conversation.
literally no build up. It was like left field. You caught basically not the tail end, but the beginning.
Nice.
So
And I just
feel
wanna
free to take
understand,
over.
Like, if I should support affirmative action or not, how, why, what are some arguments about it?
Well, okay. So what kind of society hypothetically are we living in? Like actual society? Is this like a just thought experiment? Like what are we talking about?
Ooh, good question. Actual society, the real world we live in. What decisions could be practical? I don't know. I'd like to. I can also entertain a hypothetical. I
Well, the reason I ask because if we had an actual like egalitarian, society, then affirmative action theoretically would not be necessary. But my only concern would be the question that I asked in chat was if we hit our quota for, like, hey, we hit 13% of Congress is now African American. So sorry, black folks, unless one of you guys gets, drops out or dies, like that's it, like no more. Like that would be my only concern in something
Yeah.
like that. Like minimum representation, but not, a ceiling
Limited
on
to.
representation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, at that point, it's like, okay, well, where does the ceiling stop at? And like when it,
I'm with Kat. I was just going to say that basically, if you're talking idealized society, education and lack of willful ignorance on a lot of these topics would probably resolve most of these issues.
for sure.
Hence pointing to
yeah.
the broader societal and economic issues that underpin the necessity for the Band-Aid that would be blah, 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 blah.
I really agree. I want to say that's why, like, when somebody said I support universal education, that makes me not support affirmative action. Okay. I guess in an ideal but what can we do in this system where we live, where men are not angels? Is my question. We have to assume live. Oh yeah, housing for all. Rep. Thank you, internet gas. I love that. Okay.
Yeah, I think I can get on board with that. So your argument's not that affirmative action is somehow like a negative, but that you would want to structure society in such a way to where it's not necessary. If I'm
well, I want to say, like, really, as somebody who's a leftist, I want to say the most important thing about your identity, without reducing it to the only thing about your identity, is your class. Like, we need to have some working class representation in Congress. And between you and me, anonymously online, I would call for the creation of a continental Congress of the working class that would act in opposition to the current ruling class. I'd be down for that. But officially, I can't say that. I guess I don't know. I've got like a cousin. Whatever.
No. I can understand what you're saying. My only issue would be with the making sure that we have representation equal to the population would be just because, I mean, kind of like Biden's cabinet right now. Yeah. Just because someone is of that, ethnic group doesn't necessarily mean that they have that group's interest in mind. So, I mean, I would argue probably more for like affirmative action as far as class goes. Because I mean, sure. Jay-Z and my interests don't exactly line up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are both black, but
well, I'm pretty sure he's bought himself a white card at this point.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Hey, and the first one to ever do that was OJ. God. Well, I mean, that's
holy shit of all the references.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I miss those days.
I was watching Dave Chappelle earlier, and he's like, things that you'll take seriously because a white person is saying it, and is like, OJ didn't do it. Okay, no, actually he did. And it's just, I don't know. Okay, I'll stop talking.
So
no, I know what sketch you're talking about.
I do think, I mean, yeah, one tagging on that, yeah, the old Immortal Technique lines from, I forget, it was probably Third World or something like that, I've got more in common with poor white people than I do rich Black and Latino people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It is true, as SJW said, that, it doesn't really matter how many people of color, trans people, women you put in Congress if they're all millionaires and billionaires.
Exactly.
It doesn't fucking matter. I do think the class issue takes primacy, and I've gotten a lot of trouble over the years for saying that because...
Well, as long as you admit that, like...
Well, because people are quick to call you like a class reductionist,
Yeah. The fact of the matter is the people who are perpetrating that class war are the same assholes that are using the divisionary tactics to perpetrate the race issue, the transphobia issue, all of the LGBTQ plus issues. These are the same assholes, right? So you could sweep them all up in one pan and fucking handle your business. Or you could be like, okay, so we're going to go after the transphobes and the homophobes. Well, great. That crew over there doesn't exhibit blatant transphobia or homophobia, but they're doing all sorts of bullshit behind the scenes that they're getting away with.
Yeah.
So why don't we find the group why don't we find the group and that, you know, is the largest identifiable segment and address them as such. That way we stop having outliers. Like, you know, fucking Nancy Pelosi gets away with shit. And you're like, well, why? Because she doesn't self-identify. Hey, thanks for the follow, Dumpling. Because she doesn't self-identify as a fucking Republican, even though she is one in everything but name alone. Call her out for the rich classist bitch she is, right? Like, fucking start calling these people where you need to call them. And the number one issue, as far as I can tell, throughout all time on this planet, is people with fucking over people without. Right? That seems to be the history of mankind writ large.
Oh yeah.
So
it's the kingdom paying the ladies and lords to keep the peasants down.
But I'd also say it's also always gotten better. Like, you know, the feudal peasant system is okay. The feudal peasant system isn't a more egalitarian way than like the tribalism, but more people can live. Okay, either way.
What you're trying to do though is you're trying to make comparisons
Don't
to
die on that
two
hill.
things that are too far apart. It's all relative, you know. It's relative to the amount of wealth that's currently in society, to, you know, the way society is structured. Like, you can't say like, well, we're doing better than peasants. Well, it's like, well, of course, but that doesn't mean that we're
not
relative. Well, yeah, okay, you get the point that I'm making.
Yeah, there's multiple studies that have come forward and show that feudal peasants worked less than we do.
No, as a historian, I refuse to believe that. And I'm a history teacher, by the way.
I had teachers tell me that LSD was made in toilets. So what?
Ooh. Okay, nice. but what's the claim? Do we work more hours than peasants?
Medieval peasants had more days off than the average American worker.
Damn.
Okay.
Iris, no particular reason.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm wrong. Okay.
Yeah, I know you are.
Here we go. Indeed. Okay, here we go. Here's the full thing from allthatinteresting.com, Medieval Peasants Vacation. Indeed, the average annual hours worked by Americans in 2017 reached 1,780, whereas an adult male peasant in the United Kingdom worked an average of 1,620. This is a closer look at why we work 160 hours more than the average serf. Fuck. We're so fucking whipped.
It's almost like being a teacher doesn't automatically qualify you for being right.
No. I'll admit I'm wrong. Can you just blame me for wanting to like be a little skeptical of information?
By all means.
As a teacher, I get you. I've been wrong before. I tell the kids that.
All right, so I need to do some we need to bring back feast days, catch up on chat. Let's see, hang on.
Oh my gosh.
Wealth the dynamics are slowly reconsolidating. Wealth inequality is much worse than it's ever been, especially when you consider, like, you know, a total amount within the system, and then the per capita breakdown. It looks like I am getting an echo. Yep, I'm getting an echo off you, Hat.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, let's pat the capitalists on the back for exploiting us in a way that we accept more than previously. Momo, you'll love this, Sue. Momo had teachers tell them that all the Indians were dead.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, high school teacher. The Indian people are still alive because I'm here.
Holy shit.
Fake news.
Are we getting that echo still?
Let me read this sentence and we'll see.
I left this paragraph.
I can't stand how people of color, women, and LGBTQ are used as political pawns and as a qualifier to be put in a position of power so people can check off a box or virtue signal that they're the good guys for allowing them on the team. I know, right? That's the thing, is they're not just they're used on both sides, right? Do you hate this group? Yes. Do you support this group? Yes. Cool. No more questions asked. You know, you just passed that portion of the test. Let's see. Surf time. Protestant.
Are you getting that echo?
It seems a little bit. It's better. Protestant work ethic, Murica. Only Japan does it better. Yes. Karoshi. We learned that word last week, I think. I had to look it up. I'm like, when your society has a word for working yourself to death, you have a problem. You have a problem. The word is karoshi. My comment must have been double because I'm a new sub now. Double the pleasure, double the fun. I didn't see it double up, Angie, but either way. Wealth is pooling into fewer and fewer hands. Labor and commodity production has become abstracted to the point that people are far more alienated from their labor. Premarital, what do you mean, Kai? I'm a teacher and I hold the gavel of truth and might, and a PhD at that. It's definitely hard to generalize about anything medieval, so you're right to be skeptical. So, hey, Kazumon, what's up? Covers 1,000 years in a huge geographical area. Yeah, luckily, we weren't just talking about medieval. We were talking about the feudalistic eras, which just narrow it down just a touch.
And it did only bring up a specific English thing. And, I guess I should have been more specific. I think
it's fine. We're going to bust your balls because we all have shit left over from our own teachers, and we're taking it out on you right now.
Okay.
It's not about you. Also, it's about all of our baggage.
Premarital handholder, which first of all, shame on you. Gosh.
Best username.
Yeah. Like, are you saying like the Indian people also work like, massive hours? Also, you know what? When I say like us, I mean I think a Chinese. I don't know if the Chinese peasants work more now than they did. No, like most of human history is actually in India and China. Just because most people on Earth are in there, and the story of the average person, like all of us combined, I think it's not even so much that we work less hours. It's just like, have you read Peter Crompton's The Conquest of Bread? We live in a world where so much is provided for us. I mean, more than. Oh wait, am I muted?
No, you're fine.
No,
I'm just still aghast over that pronunciation of Pyotr Kropotkin.
Yeah.
How do you? I've actually never heard it said.
Okay, so Peter is the anglicized version of Pyotr, which is okay. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, Kat. I know I'm gonna murder it by your standards. And then Kropotkin.
Kropotkin?
Yeah, closer. Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna say the bread book from here on out.
That'll work.
The bread book, I love it.
All the leftists will know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's like, man, y'all know that book about croutons?
So can you say the name though again?
Kropotkin.
Crap. Okay, work with me here.
Okay.
Crow.
Kropotkin. Potkin.
Kropotkin.
There you go.
1 second.
Oh, crackpot.
Red book. I did my best.
Y'all read that book about croutons about crack pipe? Yeah, it's a good book.
Yeah, okay, you've got a good thing. Like,
Love it.
I'm all for gay representation, but like Pete Buttigieg, my buddy was a bisexual guy hanging out when he was actually the mayor, and he knew he was gay before he came out. Also, Pete Buttigieg was super shitty and destroyed like the mostly black neighborhood. I don't know. He like
on behalf of the gay community, and I know Rabbit. Another.
It was a college expanding or an industrial zone. I don't know. It was some fucking landowner, and like. I don't know. He was shit. The guy I know, and this guy, to speak for him, he's literally a Teamster. Not from like back in, he's like, 40, but like he's a Teamster, officially. Just a good union guy. Pete Butt Cheeks.
Pete Butt Cheeks.
Well, it's an interesting time to be alive in which one could be an openly gay individual, but a closeted Republican. So it's an interesting time as, somebody who belongs to that community, I guess, even though I've never really identified culturally with that community. Straight dudes. That's where my bread is buttered as far as friendship goes. But Buttigieg is everything that's wrong with the Democratic Party, right? He's a corporate sellout hack who instantaneously will turn his back on oppressed or marginalized people, even though he's ascribing to and claiming, dominion or membership of or membership to a oppressed or marginalized people. And he thinks that this gives him political cover. And the sad fact of the matter is it does. It works.
I don't know. I don't know. It gives him some political cover. They all take different I'm gonna stop talking now. I don't.
Hey Sue, welcome back. Did you have
Thank
fun?
you.
Did you have fun in the bathroom?
Oh, well, somehow the bathroom called me all of a sudden.
Fucking you can't install
like
that
that, though.
Samsung smart toilet. It just starts calling you. It gets needy. It's a whole fucking thing. Don't let
So,
Samsung into your
Scan
bathroom.
what you eat and then send you ads.
Tiny Hat,
Yes.
you said you were a teacher?
Yeah.
What subject do you teach in school and what grade level?
I teach social studies, and I teach 7th or 8th grade. I don't want to get more specific than that, just because I
You don't
I
want to dox yourself. We get it.
But yeah. But I teach 7th grade. Right now, it's all like ancient civilizations.
Oxen confirmed. I'm joking, man. This
Kropotkin.
So you teach social studies,
Yeah.
and you don't know who Kropotkin is?
No, I just mispronounced his name. I've
Oh,
read
no, he
the Bread
knew
Book.
who he
I
was.
tried to read the Bread Book. I agree with some
Oh.
things, and I disagree with other things.
I'll tell you something.
Uh,
As the indigenous person sitting here in this room, and in most especially this voice chat, there may be others sitting in this stream chat. But as an indigenous person, and apparently according to Kai, lovingly pronounced as the what was it again?
yeah, don't worry about it. Just call Bread Guy.
It's called Bread Guy.
No,
yeah.
Bread Book, or Bread Santa. You should call him Bread Santa for the season.
No. Let me first things first. Let me explain something to you. People of color don't want your fucking charity.
Oh, Sue's on a tear today. I can hear it.
Oh, 1 second, guys. Actually, my girlfriend is calling, and this has been fun, but that's more important. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
With that, I'm off.
Bye.
All right. So let's see.
Why doesn't that surprise me that he ran?
I don't know if I legitimately think he might. That was the voice of somebody whose girlfriend is calling.
Maybe
Shit.
maybe she was listening. She may be in the stream watching and listening.
Grandpa Bread. Not gonna lie, countries without widespread bidet use are not worth living in. I don't want to eat some dirty toilet paper. Oh yes. Premarital. I have them installed in my house. Like it's like I don't understand that either. I made the change years ago and I'm never going back. It's just the only logical thing.
Well, let that guy back in the room if he's waiting.
Told you. See?
Okay, so apparently I was just rocking back and forth on my chair a lot, and she was like, "Hey, yeah, did you shut the fuck up upstairs?"
Damn.
Yeah, well, I got that ADD,
See?
and I was just like full on.
I know.
I don't know, in
I
the
know that
throes of
voice.
a good conversation.
Like I said, I've hung out with straight dudes my entire life. Trust me, I know that voice. That was my girlfriend yelling at me voice.
Okay, good. I'm glad. It's nice to have somebody to talk to about it, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's normal.
So first of all, let's get back into it then.
Oh,
Okay.
easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Easy.
try and be easy. First things first. Why don't we stop looking at placating or blowing sunshine up the ass of people of color and literally just accepting people on their merits that they have for the job of the position.
Yeah.
Secondly, if easy way to fix any overlapping of residue of white supremacy, which is the foundation of the America and United States colonies, we look for making sure that there is stiff penalties more than just a slap on the wrist. Extremely more than a slap on the wrist, which would make it more.
Wait, I have a practical thing, just a practical idea.
Okay, a practical idea. What do you have a practical idea against racism? What will work?
Okay, so you should make it on resumes that not resumes, but job applications that you get like this randomized number to apply with. But probably your social they shouldn't see your name, because like, have you heard the study that showed like Daryl and I don't
There is
know.
also studies
I know what you're
show
talking
that
about.
women have sat there and refused or put male or refused to add their sex into it. There are also studies that show that people of color have refused to put their color or nationality into it and have received employment calls and then went to go to the job interview, were politely told to fuck off.
Yeah, and I think having, like, I don't know, that on anonymity might
So
work.
why don't we put it like this?
Maybe, I don't know.
First things first. Back in the 70s, 80s, or mid 80s, 60s, 50s, people.
Okay, now
were
you're just
hired-
naming decades. As a historian, I can tell you, you're just naming decades.
Well, I'll tell you right now. Back in those days, people were hired whether or not they were willing to work and learn, and they were hired based on their skill set. Now, of course, that also depended upon extremely heavily their race and color, which would be appropriately white.
Yeah, and class, and what else? Who your father was? Maybe I don't know. Back in the 60s and 70s, I saw this great Onion article. It says study shows 80% of grandpas got a job just by walking in and asking for it. And yeah, I want to say though, like back then there were like jobs you could get that didn't like require a college degree, like and not everybody should have to go to college.
McDonald's doesn't require you to have a fucking college degree to actually work in McDonald's, but they demand it.
Neither
Or
do
if they're,
neither do
what-
most police departments, so that's an avenue of employment if you want.
Ooh, yeah, that's a problem. Okay, if you want to, oh my
No,
god,
police department's requirement is making sure that you're one of those ones that burn crosses.
oh yeah, and I have to imagine in the South, there's like a big part of
It's
that.
not just in the South, my dude. Wake up.
Okay.
You're being treated like a chump and bamboozled.
No,
by,
no, you are
colonial-
right. You are right. There's
It
definitely that
happens in the North. It happens even in Canada. Police force were very simply originated and still continue today to be the slave catchers. And it has not stopped,
Well,
nor has it ever changed.
There's
Yeah,
there's
also,
a distinction
I
in the
think-
U.S. They weren't all slave catchers. Some of them were union busters and wage workers. That's what the big stick in the North was for. Is they were organized by the capitalistic interests, the money men and the merchants, and they would do the union busting, and they would make sure that the
Yeah.
workers didn't get a little too lippy on them. The South,
I
though,
think you are absolutely
slave
you're
patrol.
taking my privilege as a northerner. Yeah, that shit is absolutely in the States. I said in the South.
It's in
No,
Canada too, buddy.
Yeah, but like fundamentally, like the police force. I mean, whether you want to look at them as union busters or slave catchers, I mean, fundamentally they are just an extension of the state's monopoly on violence.
And a maintainer of the status quo.
Yes, yes. It's like the police. I mean, that's why I always make that joke about like there's a reason why it cuts off at to protect and serve because they don't specify for who they are protecting and who they are serving.
And
Which
Like
always
they are
makes me
there.
laugh.
They are there
And-
to protect the moneyed interest of the
yeah,
country.
and
Like,
you
if
only
you're a
need
slave, you're a
you
part
only
of their
need to
capital.
abstract it to some place like China and say, well, there's not a whole lot of white supremacy going on in China, but the police
Right.
still are behaving very similarly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, I mean, I just think like that job is like naturally attractive to like fascists. Like you're like, I want to have power over other people.
Authoritarians at bare
yeah.
minimum for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Not
So hey,
necessarily a fascist, but definitely an authoritarian.
can I tell my joke here? Okay. So a police officer is just beating the striking worker, and just beating him, and he says, "I hate you, stupid communists." And then the worker says, "But I'm anti-communist." And then the police officer keeps hitting him and says, "I don't care what kind of communist you are." Um, okay, say that's a joke. From back in the day.
Beta.
Oh,
Thank you.
wrong one.
Amazing.
I wanted
Okay,
amazing,
so-
but I hit beta accidentally twice.
I just want to say, Mr. Lost here has mentioned Canada a few times, and I would like one day just love to like pick your brain about like Quebec, and what kind of
Quebec.
issues that brings up. We don't have to do that right now, but I
Quebecois.
want to pick your brain with that.
That is quite possible.
Can I ask what province?
Isn't Lynx closer to Quebec than you? You're out in
Yes,
you're in the
yes.
west.
I'm out on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're in like New British Columbia?
Relatively close by, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, oh Jesus Christ. Squee.
Easy.
Hey there, Squee.
Let's go. Dumpling.
Remember,
To your question that you asked, should Indigenous people let the Pilgrims starve that winter?
Wait, what?
You know,
Oh, wow.
that's a very interesting question, and I have mixed answers on that. One side of me says fuck yeah, after enduring being a prisoner of war myself, and over 500 plus years of the genocide that has gone on both in Canada and the United States of my people. The other side says, even in all of that, I still would have had pity on them because I'm not my enemy. And I am not the enemy that they've taught you in schools for over 500 plus years.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm kind of with you there. I don't know. I would just hate to like starve and let people die, and they didn't know. And it's not the Pilgrims' fault. It's not just
Well-
their fault. I mean,
I mean, that is the beginning stage.
it was definitely the start.
Well,
but like
From what I
that
understand,
specific,
it wasn't
like-
the beginning stage. That's the thing. There have
Well-
been plenty of European-based, or at least Eurocentric white people journeys up and down this coast long prior to that singular incident. This is a muddied timeline, and that incident,
Well,
the
this is
story
why-
that we tell of the Pilgrims landing is one, highly fictionalized, and two, far from the first interaction. When they landed, there was a native person there who spoke fluent English and French. I mean, they were far from the first European that they had interacted with.
True.
I just like as a
I
historian.
just think I would say that being in today's date and time, the Thanksgiving thing is bullshit to us Indigenous people on this Turtle Island, not America or North America. It's called Turtle Island. And you, as a teacher, should be looking at correcting these bullshit mistakes.
Yeah, but if he's working within, he's got curriculum that he has to work within. That's
I don't
I
give a
do.
shit. Step out of fucking bullshit, capitalist, colonialist, fucking genocidal, fucking white only, white European male only.
I think I do a good job of trying to like wake my kids up, and even like Black History Month, I made it like all about Black History Month, and it just
We
even
don't
though it wasn't supposed to be like
our life and our experience,
but
our existence to be reduced to like a Black History Month or an Indigenous Day or week.
yeah,
We
and
don't want it.
Well, do you want them to talk about you at all?
Yes.
Well, then you need to accept what you can get at a certain point.
Well,
He's not in charge. He's not the head of the. He's not the Secretary of Education in this country, Sue. You're yelling at the wrong person.
I can understand where Sue is coming from, and at the same time, I can see it from the other side too. No one wants their traditions, their culture, their history, their customs to be just reduced down to like a fucking a Hallmark card holiday, something that you can just commodify and just spit it out the corporate machine and it doesn't mean anything. But at the same time, like Kai says, if it weren't for those things, I mean, where else would you get that information from? I mean, who else is talking about the civil rights movement and the busing?
Take the win and argue for more
integration, into schools and things like that. Kind of like when we were talking about earlier with the having representation in government. Like, yes, it sucks that we have people of color and transgender people and people that are non-binary that are like, hey, getting higher up roles, but they're just not necessarily interested in class issues.
We're getting Betsy DeVos on the phone right now. That's happening.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
can I ask who I was introduced as? Because somebody was Joe Rogan, or was I just?
Yeah, that's SJ. People always say SJ sounds like.
I'm not sure why, but yeah, they all say it.
Hey, Memphis.
I know why.
I'm not gonna lie, SJ, you have like some of the best like voice coming in, at least on my end. It's smooth. I want to hear more, SJ. Okay.
It's smooth. It's like, welcome to Night Moods. I'll be your DJ.
I think
there was something
alongside of
racist in
any
that.
social or history classes, they need to be talking about the actual history and facts here in North America, or what we call North Turtle Island.
One second, a cat just knocked something over.
Kitty. Jesus Christ. You see in chat, SJ?
Nice. Hey, what's up, Squee? How you been, man?
Squee. Joe Daddy.
Squee. Yeah, that's.
Shit, here we go again.
That's
Native American polyglot. What's polyglot?
someone who speaks multiple languages. Glot for glottal, as in tongue, and poly meaning multiple or many.
Okay, that I can accept it.
I got a question for you guys. I mean, it's going to be a bit off topic, but I mean, kind of relevant for what we're doing. What do you think is going to happen if the stimulus bill gets passed in its current form with streaming platforms? Because they have that thing in there about making streaming copyrighted content a felony.
Ooh, I think a whole lot of nothing. I think Twitch will lose some money, just in general. Hey, I've actually got to go walk dogs now. But thank you for having me. Thank you so much. This was fun.
Yeah.
I've wanted
Hey,
to.
thanks, Donnie.
I'd love to come back more often and randomly in the future.
It was the weirdest versions of that I'd like to come back more often and randomly.
Thank you.
I like
Later,
that.
Tiny Hat.
Peace out.
Catch you later.
Tiny Hat.
No. Simp isn't bannable yet. It's January 1st that simp, virgin, and incel become bannable words.
Wait. Like if you say them, you can be banned from Twitch.
Oh yeah. Were you not? The
Oh my
notification went around, my man. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't quite understand what they were. Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
okay.
Virgin, simp, and incel are on the chopping block.
Why?
You want to know my theory?
Is it what, bullying? Like, is that their rationale?
Oh no, here's okay. So who's Twitch's primary audience? Really primary audience, the ones that bring in the dollars, right? They're the 18 to 34-year-old male demographic of gamers, right? So we're talking hardcore gamer trademark, right? Definitely gamer TM crowd. Who has a Venn diagram overlap with being called simps, incels, and virgins? The hardcore gamer TM crowd. I think they got sick and tired of being called virgin, simps, and incels, and they fucking raised a storm like any other demographic can and does. And fucking Twitch virtue signaled to them this time instead of someone else.
Yep.
I sincerely believe that.
That is so fucking crazy.
Keep up the great content. You're playing Apex. I have never played Apex Legends, but have fun, Squee, and enjoy. And thank you for the sub, as always. Thanks for stopping by. Everybody, say bye to Squee.
See you, Squeeze.
Gamers are the most oppressed group. Fucking true, Iris. Fucking
Yes,
true.
exactly, Kazabon. They targeted gamers, right? Like, it's that crew. And they are the largest demographic on Twitch, right? They are the Twitch base.
Well, it's the same thing like the fucking like the Star Wars fanboys and shit, like the 18 to 34-year-olds that have a lot of disposable income, like ranting and raving over fucking toy designs and shit and trying to tank a whole fucking franchise because their main character has boobs now.
It's that crew. And yeah, I was like, yeah, no, it's just Twitch virtue signaling to their base this time. That's all. Same way they do to everybody else, only they're massively, impersonal giant corporation, right? Like Twitch doesn't give a shit about you. Twitch doesn't give a shit about your demographic. All they care about is whether you continue to spend money on this platform, right? Like,
So are they going to make it to where you can't like say it in chat? It's going to be one of those like flagged words.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're going on the list for identity.
Jeez.
Yeah. And so,
I love it.
Identify as a simp. What kind of shit?
So
well,
why are we getting Devos?
that was a joke. There's no getting a hold of Betsy DeVos.
Give him a few more months. He doesn't quite have pull like that yet.
Yeah.
Give us some time though.
Thank you for the follow. No, to ape, or tape, or to app, or to ape. Either way, welcome to the channel. Yeah, so yeah, I'm a firm believer in the euphemism treadmill. There's a reason why we will continue to have offensive words for all time. So just do the same thing. Around here, we're calling simps Barts. We're calling virgins olives or olive oil. And we're calling incels Excel.
Nice.
Yeah, just change the word. Who cares? Like, simps
Do we
is,
call them Microsoft XLs?
if you so choose, go for it. That's how it works. It's how it's always worked. That's why, I don't invest myself in any of that sort of shit. Can I be a simp anarcho V streamer? We have a regular around here whose username is Simps for Bernie. And
I remembered him.
I was talking
He's
to him.
gonna have to look at changing his name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, "Are you concerned about your name?" And, they're like, "Yeah." They looked into it. We sent Betsy the Discord link, but nothing yet. Did you guys notice that Periscope? No, I didn't. Did you guys notice that Periscope will be discontinued sometime in March? Along with the announcement, it directs you to switch over to Twitter instead, most likely related to censorship and copyright control. What are your thoughts, though? Did anybody use Periscope?
No.
Okay. Well, there's our thoughts. Um,
Periscope who?
you know,
It's like one of those things where like these platforms try to like integrate. It's like they become just like a tossed salad after a while. Like I'm not on Twitter to make Instagram stories. I'm not on Twitter to make fucking, Snapchat videos. Like it's so weird.
I, I didn't. The only time I've ever used Periscope is when people are streaming riots.
Right, exactly.
When there's a fight in the street, Periscope comes into play. Like I've seen some decent action over Periscope, but beyond that, I've never seen Periscope used for anything other than that. So, there's a car on fire. Yeah, I see a Periscope link. Short of that, I've never come in contact with Periscope. So, yeah. Let's see. No, Periscope, I won't be able to double insult new NYC guns on Twitch than Periscope. I just realized how we can win. Just call copyright censorship and leave that narrative in right-leaning circles. Isn't it owned by Twitter, Periscope? Yeah. It's a Twitter. It's Twitter owned.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
Twitter's
that's what I was saying.
streaming
it's so
service.
weird. Like, why is it on Twitter? Like, it's like
'Cause-
no one uses Twitter for that.
Yeah, because they bought it.
Like-
That's it. It's an acquisition.
Yeah, it's like everything. All these streaming platforms want to be like the Walmart of social media, where it's just like you can do everything. And the reason that people go to certain things, it's like I don't really go to YouTube to watch streamers. For the most part, I go to Twitch to watch streamers. I go to YouTube to watch pre-recorded content.
Yeah, VODs.
I don't. Yeah. It's like I don't go to Twitter to watch Instagram stories. I go to Instagram to watch Instagram stories. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah. YouTube's doing that shit now. I saw those as YouTube minis or whatever the fuck they're pushing. Trump leans because he wears pumps in his shoes to appear taller because he's one of the most insecure humans that have ever been. Yes. He also intentionally leans forward, I think, with his shoulders to try and hide the gut a little bit that way too. Solaris, I think you just cause their brains to malfunction and they'd sign with copyright holders because hierarchy, cat. I mean, for fuck's sake, they don't even understand net neutrality. Nothing made me laugh harder than Alex Jones opposing net neutrality when InfoWars would probably be one of the first sites on the chopping block not to provide access to. I used to use Periscope to watch PPV fights. I'm a little bummed. People were streaming whatever the fuck they wanted over Periscope, weren't they? Good for them. I mean, I in no way, shape, or form encourage or advocate for anything that is illegal in your locality. Let's see. Conservatives like the sound of intellectual property rights too much. They do. They do. It's that Ayn Randian objectivist fantasy they have in their heads. It's fucking what's the BioShock city called? Rapture. There we go.
yeah.
Yeah, they all want their little rapture in more ways than one. YouTube Shorts, vertical 60 seconds or less video. Yes, because that's exactly what I go to YouTube for. When I lean slightly forward with Comrade Trump in aiming to give Mitch McConnell a stroke and turn his cult against the GOP. Oh, except it's political theater. That shit can't make it through. It's just not going to make it through. Pelosi put it up for a unanimous vote. So one Republican or one Democrat votes against that, it doesn't even make it out of the House. So, good luck with that one. Oh, we have Marxism is bad 4.
Aww.
4. Holy shit! What happened to the first 3 accounts?
Had to burn them. People who film vertically should be put into re-education camps. I think we lost that battle with fucking Instagram and Snapchat and shit, but I'm with you, Critical. I'm with you. Let's see. Oh, interesting. That was directed at Cool Boy. I support you, sorta. I actually like to meet an anti-Marxist who actually understands what Marxism is, because I've not found anyone who critiques it that really knows what the fuck they're talking about. You know, Solaris, good luck on that journey.
Well, actually, I think, I don't know if they're in the chat right now, but I do think we do know one person that can critique it quite very good and eloquently, quite intelligent.
Except it's not gonna, Rabbit's not going to critique it. He'll just say that it's a borrowed philosophy. He's gonna support the philosophy.
Well, I mean, yeah, we all support the philosophy.
Well, that's so he would correct
especially
he would
in-
correct the point of order that, you know, Marxism is essentially a reworked X, Y, and Z, but the fact of the matter is the philosophy and ideological underpinnings that you would likely ascribe to the terminology Marxism holds water due to A, B, and C.
Yeah, being that it was originally from us indigenous people who kept it alive and well and working just
Well,
fine for generations and decades and tens of thousands of years pre-colonial contact. Yeah.
But you weren't the only ones. The interchange came from this island, yes, to Marx, but you weren't the only ones. These ideas existed
Yeah.
in many
there was other
places.
like New Zealand, Australia,
Africa.
the Pacific Islands, Africa.
You know, the OG,
Yeah.
the cradle.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, these ideas go into prehistory.
I had someone tell me I think it was today, that Native people were actually some lost tribe from Russia that came across the Bering Strait.
Well, it's very likely that there was multiple peoples that made their way via that methodology. Yeah.
But there's no actual proof. But apparently
We have the
they
migratory proof of human
Well,
beings
I mean,
across
that
that
might be
strait.
the case for, like, say, Inuit people that are up in the far north. That may be the case that they have more of a kinship to that. Although I cannot speak for Inuit people, even though you label me as the one that can speak the indigenous speaker for all space and time for all indigenous people. I cannot speak for that, but I do know when it comes to most of us plains natives, that is nowhere near any of our history.
It would be about 34,000 years ago. It would be you guys too.
No, we've always been here.
Yeah, your creation myth, while I respect your indigenous culture and your right to have a creation myth, doesn't line up with science.
Well, even in science, it doesn't matter because we have the Incas and everything else, Aztecs, that literally were here long before that.
No, they weren't. The Mayans coincided with with Oxford University. And the Incas, because I always forget the Incan Empire dates, but they would be pre-Columbian. So let's see, about 1438.
I don't know.
Well, no, we have a very clear historical record for some of these groups, and utilizing genetic study of fossils found from the both sides of the Bering Strait, we can study the migratory pattern of human beings across that landmass, and that would be approximately 34,000 years ago, but maybe even earlier than that.
Yeah, Kat. This is the closest.
Yeah, sorry, I had them reversed, Kazuban. I had the Incas and the Mayans reversed.
Well, as far as I know, they keep finding more and more and more and more.
Yeah, the Mayans would be about 1800 BC, right? Yeah, sorry. Flip that.
Although there are some forms of migration that may quite have been so, and the case being that
Yeah.
indigenous people here on Turtle Island were quite famous for trading and making trade routes throughout all of it.
Yeah, and as Premarital points out, the two main theories are Bering Strait and Polynesian canoes. Take your pick, boo. Like, it's, you know, everybody's welcome to their creation myth, but doesn't line up with science.
I don't, from everything that I understand, I don't partake in the Bering Strait myth. Polynesian canoes, not completely, but I can see that some of it.
Well, you had to get here somehow. You're not you're not a secondary genetic lineage.
But bro, I mean,
You didn't magically fall out of the sky fully formed. You had to come from the cradle somehow.
Pandora box from the cradle of life, where all human beings apparently crawled out of, the primordial ooze. We understand that we were always here from that time because we were on that side of the world that split aside and became Turtle, what we call Turtle
Except
Island.
the genetic record doesn't line up with that.
I don't know.
Well, thousands of people spanning the globe do know better, and the fact of the matter is it's been looked into. You're not a second group of isolated genetics.
I don't know about that, bro.
Well, you're the same as a flat earther or a moon landing denier. You can say that, but the facts don't line up with what you believe.
I'm not a moon landing denier, nor am I a flat earther denier.
Well, it's the same thing. The facts, unfortunately, don't care about your feelings. And the genetic record is fairly clear on this one, that you're not a separate evolved group. You're of the same migratory lineage as the rest of humanity. It's, you know, Christians have their creation mythology. The Greeks have their creation mythology. Taoists have their creation mythology. Buddhists have a creation mythology. You know, everybody has a creation mythology. I don't fault you it. Wouldn't take it away. But the fact of the matter is that it doesn't work that way.
I have to push back on that guy. And you know I love you dearly. So this is in no way anything, you know. But scientists are mostly been subscribed to the white European ethno belief that white people are the only ones that can determine someone's genealogy or area of growth or whatever. And they have long time in history done everything that they could to prove otherwise, or prove other people's where they come from and so forth, to substantiate the claim that, well, you might have been the first people to come over here, but we're the ones that claim it. So,
Yeah, this has nothing to do with that. And ultimately, what it would find is that you end up back in Africa anyway. So it would undermine any sort of racial sentiment that you're trying to attach to this.
You don't hear me denying that we all didn't start at the cradle of life in Africa.
Well, then you had to come here at some point.
Yeah, when the world shifted, when the tectonic plates shifted and separated the landmass. That is from what we are told, not just.
So about 335 million years ago? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry, 175 million years ago.
Well, it makes sense considering that they did find dinosaur bones on this side of the planet.
Yeah, but they
Um,
didn't find human bones alongside those dinosaur bones.
Well, that they're aware of. But then they also did find
I'm done, Sue. I'm done.
dwelling.
I'm done. I'm not having this conversation. I love you too much to have this conversation. This is ridiculous. You're attempting to make a claim that human beings were coinciding the evolution of dinosaurs. This is the kind of shit young Earth creationists do, just in reverse.
I don't know. Well, where did cavemen come from?
Human evolution happened long after the dinosaurs.
Yeah. But dinosaurs and humans were around still. There is.
No, there's no overlap between the timeline of humans and dinosaurs other than the long descendants such as birds.
Well, we already are aware that animals were here long before human beings were. That we all know. It will happen in Dino Crisis.
You mean Jesus? You mean Jesus horses? Yes, I mean Jesus horses.
Joe Porkins.
And Jack Porkins. Thank you for the follow. Let's see. It would be. What do we have for that timeline? Oh, I don't feel like that. Let's see. Hang on. Let's see. All right. There we go. Thank you. So let me just get me a compressed timeline. Non-avian dinosaurs died out about approximately 66 million years ago. We're most likely to have come into formation somewhere between 750 to 300,000 years ago.
Hey, Rabbit. Speak of the devil.
Hey, Rabbit, would you like to talk creation myths? Jurassic Park has a Twitter account. Of course it does. Where's Waldo lied to me? Yeah, Kazaban. We even have confirmed connections between languages in Central Siberia and the Na-Dene language, which would be looks like northwest Canada and down into New Mexico, or what used to be Mexico.
Well, we already know about the Dene people creation myths. Which ones? Like Egypt, the one personally. No, about the existence of indigenous people on Turtle Island. Because apparently we're at an impasse, so to speak.
There we go. Well, I mean, there's always going to be a disagreement amongst science versus a creation myth because they're always wacky. To be perfectly honest, it's always born of this, created of that, sent down by. But that's just not how, evolution via natural selection and random mutation works. Yeah, so we're not talking about emerging from a lotus flower. How boring! I know. The lotus flower is one of the more elegant ones. We should point that out. Wait, hang on. Moses and his followers flew pterodactyls over the Red Sea. And Solaris says no, it was pteranodons instead. My creation myth is the Spanish devil gods came down from the water sky and raped us Mexicans all into existence. Let's go now. I don't know what those are, Solaris. Oh, come on. Let's see. Oh, wait. So I don't think they existed. Sorry, it dems the brakes. Let me get a picture for you. Put one on screen. Oh. There you go. They're those evil looking little bastards. They're always displayed in like packs. And they're like fodder enemies if you're in a video game.
Yeah, Rabbit, come on in here.
It's Johnny Quest. You may be more familiar with that one. Playing the Isle, cool dino game. Oh, is that the one with the space laser and the like you go down and it's the team based? Is that one that I'm thinking of? Arcane, fairly new, team based shooter. No, wait. No, it's not Ark. There's a new one. There's a new one of those, by the way. It's not Ark I'm thinking of. Ark, I know. I'm looking up the Isle right now, though. Yeah, I don't know what the new one is called, but there is a new dinosaur team fucking game one. All right, so I closed that before I had even looked at it. Fierce open world survival gameplay as you attempted to stay alive on an unforgiving island inhabited by dinosaurs. Hunt, grow, survive. Oh, Jesus. Gritty open world survival horror game. Well, right there, I'm out.
Those are the only games I play. What are you talking about, guy?
Go back to your Marvel's Avengers, you fucking hack.
Hey, that game was fun. I don't care what nobody says. That game was fun.
It's funny growing your own dino. I mean, yeah, I might play that, says Momo. Here's if you know. There you go, Momo. Link in chat for the Steam page, and for anybody else who wants it, of course. A global community story. It's a narrative told strictly through the environment, meaning we don't have a plot. Achievable only through immense cooperation among players. We've done so little that you guys are going to have to band together and do this for us. Are you stranded? Can you just leave? What is AE? How did the dinosaurs get there? Oh, Jesus. This feels like Lost the video game. Like, yeah, figure it out for yourself. and it's early access. Fair warning. Sounds like Sea of Thieves. Still haven't ever played that. Never even given it a shot. Its water looks good though. Sounds like Dino Punk. And premarital still. If your creation myth doesn't involve the sun god pulling your first leader out of a lake, don't talk to me.
Oh God.
They're straight up Argentinian. Star Wars, dinos, all fun games. I need to be able to stealth in a game. I need to be able to sneak, and I need to be stabby. If I can't be stabby and sneaky in a video game, I really don't know why I'm playing the game.
So basically, Kai likes where he can play a rogue.
Yeah. Rogues are the best character anyway. Everybody knows that. They're the character that can, pickpocket a fucking, pickpocket the clerk and pay them with their own money. Like it's the best class, plain and simple. Like, I'm just gonna rob this royal while you guys distract him. Oh, we're done with him? Stab, stab, stab. Resident Evil knife only run when, oof, I don't do the RE games. I'm not huge into like zombies and like horror stuff. But knife only run of like Resi 7, something like that, like a remake. Interesting. How would you deal with Nemesis? You like Fortnite? I've 3. Original is easiest. All right. I have 3 paladins in D&D just because I love being the first into battle on the tank. Nemesis takes 75 stabs. Jesus Christ. If that's accurate, wow. Kai,
Hey, Rabbit, are you coming in?
Kai, like rogues, does it from behind. That's fucking solid. Zealot's the opposite. If you have to be stealthy, I'm out. I need guns blazing and swords swinging. Fair enough. What is that in reference to?
Yeah, please come on in here, Rabbit.
Listen, strange women lying in ponds. Oh, Excalibur. That's right. Excalibur. Jesus Christ. It was the lying in the pond that fucking tripped me out. It sounded almost Buddhist in nature. Interesting.
Well, come on in here. No better time to break in that new computer.
I'm a shotgun
And
to the
it's
face
Divinity.
kind of gal. What's good? How do you feel about Nintendo? Nintendo, I haven't played a Nintendo product since SNES.
You're better for it.
Hey, ambo
They are-
Nicola.
They're hardcore. The Nintendo fanboys are fucking intense. Never been a fan of. Okay, so this is gonna get me fucking on the list. Never been a fan of Smash Brothers or Mario Kart.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, you ain't good.
yeah, right. Puts me right on a few lists. Yeah, Mario Kart is just okay. Smash is fun. Oi, mate, says Pastique. Hey, Pastique. Yeah, I've never cared for them. There are better racing games. There are more fun karting games. There are better fighting games. There are better, those are the best ones for Nintendo. Don't get me wrong. If you're playing a Nintendo system, you better have those. Those are the best ones you have. But there are better versions of those games on other platforms. So I never quite understood it. Hey, how much is a disc PS5 worth right now? Probably a lot. Let's check eBay. Let's see what these assholes are scalping them for. Because that is definitely they're going for stupid numbers right now. Did you get yourself a PS5, SJ?
No. No, I normally won't go for the next system until they work the bugs out. I know better. I've seen the Red Ring of Death one too many generation cycles. I know better.
I'm seeing between $700 and $1,200.
Wow.
Yeah. So there you go. You want to know what they're being eBayed for right now? Then yeah, Metroid Prime is good. until they make PS Ultimate and can read all PlayStation discs and DVD and Blu-ray. Yeah, until the next iteration next year, which, you know, will be marginally. Yeah, fucking get a gaming PC, stupid console, says Arcade. I'm a PC gamer. That's PC Master Race. Sorry. I don't console game. I haven't console gamed since PS3, Xbox 360 era. It's superior. It just is. I can play with my sticks. I can, you know, I've got a 360 controller that I still use on my PC. If you want to use that, I can put the signal on the TV and play from the couch if that's your benefit. The only thing that console players can say is that, you know, we have console exclusives. And that's the only thing. That's the only argument for playing on a console, is that some capitalistic entity cut a deal with a developer to make that IP theirs and theirs alone. But these days, you're even seeing like console exclusives only being time limited exclusives. Things like Horizon Zero Dawn and Red Dead Redemption 2 come to PC. They're just console exclusives for a year. So if you're patient, you just wait, and eventually it comes to PC and you're fine. And we'll play it in a better iteration than the consoles got. It'll look better. It'll play better. Yeah. Especially on things like Horizon Zero Dawn, you know, that have, if you have a larger control scheme using keyboard and mouse, especially with all the aiming, it's a better experience. So I don't understand consoles, to be quite frank. Do I play with DLSS on some games? Yes. And so,
Did you get your mic fixed?
got it. Hey, thank you for the follow. Bored to Tears. I like that. My guitar just made a noise and nothing is close to it. Well, Trailhead, your house is haunted. Congratulations. There's a poltergeist in your guitar. And the next time you go to play it, you're going to get sucked inside and the poltergeist is going to replace you. That's for real, something that's going to happen. I know because I talked to I talked to a witch the other day and they informed me.
I love how matter of fact he was about it. Like, so your house is haunted.
Yeah. It's just, you know, it's a thing that's happening. It's, you know,
Like, this isn't even like, you know, debatable. Like, no, this objectively your house is haunted.
Epic Games exclusives? No, Epic Games beta testing. That's what the first year, everything outside of the Game of the Year edition on a game is you beta testing the product for the company.
Pretty fucking much.
Yeah, it's been that way for a while. Like, let's see. Finally played Resident Evil 2 Remake this year, which was the first new game I played since GTA 5. I'll play games 5-10 years later and not care. I'm still enjoying games I put off since 2014. That's a solid way to go. And if you need game recommendations for that sort of thing, Kodo, go to Patient Gamers, r/Patient Gamers on Reddit. And it's an entire community of people that don't play new releases. They'll wait X amount of time before playing them. They don't care. They want the mods to be there. They want the bug fixes to be there. They want all of the DLC to be released. They want all of that bullshit to be over and done with. So whatever the game is going to be in its entirety, give it to me, then we'll talk. And I have played many a games that way. Yeah.
Have you experienced Trailhead, other things happening when no one else is around the said possible object? This is a way to confirm if you are actually experiencing infestation of being haunted or not.
I like his infestation. I like it.
Okay, cool. And that one, I found a liking to platformers. Platformers and I have a mixed, very sort of hit and miss relationship. Same with roguelikes. Very hit and miss.
I mean, you know, I hate to destroy. Haven't heard anything else before. Okay. I hate to destroy some people's flat Earth image, but hauntings and spirits and so forth do actually exist, and it is not without of the realm for someone's home to be infested with hauntings and such, or spirits of such. It happens.
Oh no, I don't doubt it. I have a lot of people in my family who are very I would normally call them superstitious, but for the sake of this conversation, we'll say like very skeptical to like secularism, and they're, you know, very about like spiritual realm and like, you know, contacting like other planes of existence and things like that. And they were very adamant that, you know, when people pass on, like they leave behind like a spiritual residue, so to speak, and that lives on in the home or the plot of land or whatever. I always thought it was kind of interesting. I didn't quite subscribe to it myself, but I think it's interesting to talk about.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Is he talking to you, Kai? Are you the old man now? Or is it me that I'm the old man?
I think it may be you.
What lesson are you trying to teach me, handholder?
Cat getting on meds for paranoid schizophrenia killed a bunch of my spiritual tendencies. Life's been a lot better.
Chat.
Somebody mentioned Bloodstained. Gas, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. That's Castlevania, right? That's the kick-started Castlevania by the creator. Because he wanted to do another game, and I forget what. There was some politics behind the scene. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I remember that. That was super successful. Wait.
Hey, Rabbit.
What am I waiting on?
Okay. All right. I thought you had failed your second attempt. I was blatantly laughing in your face.
Don't mock me like that. I'm sweet and innocent, and I only woke up an hour ago. What do you want from me?
You may have woken up an hour ago, but doubt on the rest of that. Sweet and innocent, my ass.
I am. Skepticism is unwarranted.
Oh, fuck it.
I am attempting about 15 different sound settings, so Momo, you're not helping.
Yeah, see?
Now you're just enlisting other people. Ganging up on me. I get it.
People that know him. People that know him. I'm Momo. I am always helping. How dare.
How dare. So why are we talking about creation myths? Like the really good ones?
No.
Oh, damn.
He was so dejected and like, oh, well.
What's your favorite creation myth?
I don't know. The lotus flower is good, but the one that is, oh God, it's an African myth, and it has to do with some sacred twins, but they're simultaneously old and young because there was some sort of a mistake that was made during the creation process, and so the entire universe is like an ever-hatching egg.
Oh, okay. It's the Monday creation myth.
That's the one.
Yes, it would be Molly.
Yeah, that one is possibly my favorite because it has diagrams.
No, it really does.
Yeah, any creation myth that has like an artist's rendering, I'm all for it. Here you can see on the chart where we are all okay.
Yeah, it's let's see. Is it Pemba and Pharaoh? Or
Sure, okay.
yeah.
I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, so I don't know. Okay, so it's so the people of Keita call the egg of the world in 2 twin parts, which were to procreate.
Yes.
So the story begins when Mangala, the creator god, tries making a Balaza seed, but it failed. He then made 2 Eloizine seeds of different kinds, which the people of Keita call the egg of the world in 2 twin parts, which were to procreate. Then Mangala made 3 more pairs of seeds, and each pair became 4 elements, the 4 directions, and corners in the framework of the world's creation. He then folded into a hibiscus seed. The twin pairs of the seed, which are seen as having opposite sex, are referred to as the egg or placenta of the world. This egg held additional 2 pairs of twins, 1 male and 1 female, who are the archetype of the people. Among them was Pemba, who wished to dominate, and so he left the egg early, ripping a piece of his placenta. Pemba fell through space, and his torn placenta became the earth. Because he left the egg prematurely, the egg formed from this piece and was arid and barren and of no use to Pemba. So he tried to return to the egg to rejoin his twin and his place in the rest of the placenta. But it was not to be found. Mangala had changed the remaining placenta into the sun. So Pemba stole male seeds from Mangala's clavicle, and it's always, what is it with the weird? Rib, clavicle, and took it to the barren earth and planted them there. Only one of them could germinate in the dry earth, a male Eloizine seed, which grew in the blood of the placenta. But because Pemba had stolen the seed and it germinated in Pemba's own placenta, the earth became impure and the Eloizine seed turned red. Pharaoh, the other male twin, had assumed the form of the twin fish and was sacrificed to atone for Pemba and purify the earth, being cut into 60 pieces which fell to earth where they became trees. There's more, but that's basically the Mandaean people of southern Mali's creation myth. That's a hell of a pick.
I'm telling you, if you want some good creation myths, I know some good ones. There's a group of, they're just south of what is the current Chinese border, and they have what is one of the most egalitarian societies documented on Earth. For example, like men and women are expected to involve themselves equally in the pregnancy and delivery process. Men tend to get pregnancy pains, all of that stuff. But well, their creation myth is there are 2 equivalent deities, both of whose names have male and female gendered pronouns to describe them. Both of them do. And the way that the pregnancy worked out was the one deity wanted to carry the baby and tried to carry the baby and eventually got sick of carrying the baby. And so the other one took it and stuck it in their thigh to carry it to term.
Oh,
and
very Greek.
Yeah, a little bit, but what it means to them is, therefore, all humans are 1/2 of this equivalent deity, and so you have to find your matching pair in order to be a complete person, which is one of the reasons that they're so egalitarian, because everybody is completely equal, even their gods.
Interesting.
Pangu?
No, it was the text that was done on it was chopsticks only work in pairs. That's how they define being a full person.
Okay. All right. There's a, oh God. I'm too tired and I'm a little stoned, not a ton, but a little.
Only a little.
Yeah, just barely.
Just a little bit. Lahu. The Lahu.
There is there's a concept within Zoroastrianism that your soul, your spirit, isn't necessarily there's a part of it that's on the other side waiting for you, that if you don't get to know before you die, then when you die, you won't be able to find your other self, and you will be forever incomplete and wandering this sort of spiritual plane.
I'd heard that, but that's not their primary belief, right? That's
No,
one of their
no,
sects.
it's some offshoot.
Yeah. There's a couple of South American tribes who, as far as they're concerned, the human spirit is actually 4 or 5 different component pieces, and unless they are maintained in the appropriate balance, then you essentially end up with someone who's a zombie. But because the soul that is like your animating force can be separate from the soul that is your mind, which is separate from the soul that travels to the other world and all that sort of thing, you can have someone who doesn't know they're dead.
Given the history of entheogenic compound usage in that part of the world, they would have seen their fair share of people who have spiritually checked out and
Oh, I'm
still
sure.
been mobile. You know, we've all known somebody who was tripping balls and wouldn't lay the fuck down.
Oh God, I had one friend. I swear he would. For anyone who has had a shared stoner experience, we all know this guy. He's the one who gets amped when he gets stoned and will not shut the fuck up. Oh gods, yeah, he's the dude we had to tie to a chair, like literally, because he kept breaking things.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. I want to see what's inside the plate. It's a plate. What are you doing?
Yeah,
We were more afraid that he was going to injure himself than anything else.
that's and he was just high.
Just high.
Jesus Christ, I'd have to smack a motherfucker. If you're just smoking a little weed and you're breaking plates and shit so you can see what's inside.
Well, it's, what do they call it? The because some people have the medical condition where if they give you a tranquilizer, you get amped. If they give you, caffeine, then you calm down. It's the inverse reaction or whatever.
Yeah.
And that idea, I'm almost certain that's what he had. So yeah, the more he smoked, the more amped he got. It was loads of fun. It's like he was on
Jesus.
meth.
Pass. Momo raising their hand.
Oh, well, yeah.
No, I've shared some stories from my past of trip sitting and that sort of stuff. That's, things people get up to that you have to rein them in. But
Oh, God.
I've never had to, fucking take someone who is just stoned and tie him to a fucking couch because they keep breaking china and shit.
Oh, it was so bad. Sadly, pot doesn't really affect me all that much. It makes it so I can't do math,
Fair enough.
but that's about it. It doesn't calm me down or anything. I just can't do math.
So executive function. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
MAFB.
That's all it really does. Which, disappointing. So why are we discussing creation myths? I thought this was like a commie political channel or something.
Well, actually, my channel Purview does cover religion as well, because historically, the whole point was I would touch the third rail. Right.
Oh, you risk taker, you.
Yeah, I'll have the religious conversation with you if you want, but not a believer.
I mean, do we have to?
But it was born of a difference of opinion between Sue and myself for the native or indigenous Turtle Island creation myth versus the scientific explanation, or the two competing theories as to how the native peoples actually arrived on this island, and that they didn't sail over here during the Pangea split.
Wait, which native creation myth are we talking about?
Mm.
Because I like the Navajo version. where they emerged out of a hole in the ground.
See, there you go. How many are there?
How many you got?
Well, I mean,
the-
broad categories, because you can always, you could take the, it's like, oh, you take the Abrahamics down to Abrahamic, and then you condense them even further into mixed religions born of North Africa.
I suppose if you were doing like broad categories, a lot of Plains myths, a lot of the Plains stories tend to favor the idea of originating from some place in the ground. That's, by the way, not even true for all of the Plains tribes. A lot of as you start moving to the eastern coast, a lot of them will have stories about having originated from the water in some way. If you start going to the western coast, frequently they will have a story about having come from another place and ended up where they are. And then you start getting into like Central and South America, and those guys are all over the map. So it kind of depends. But
Heavier
there's even- it's
heavier
hard
drug
to,
use
like-
in that part of the world. You get more creative.
Oh, I mean, hey, the Plains people had
Peyote.
buttons.
Yeah.
They had plenty to work with. Also, indigenous tobacco in the Americas, that
Yeah.
stuff was stronger than pot.
Yeah,
So-
I've heard that I'd like to get my hands on some heirloom. Like if I was ever to try tobacco, some sort of heirloom varietal and grown properly.
There's a couple of tribes that are maintaining some heritage plants. They're really hard to get a hold of, so they charge an arm and a leg. But I've only had one pipe full, and that did me for a good 4 or 5 hours. So
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Well, when you find things like that out, it's less surprising that they would smoke a bowl before they negotiated. Because, I mean, what better way to make sure the room stays calm during the debate than making sure that everybody's just a little stoned?
Hang
Okay,
on.
guys, so do you want that land over there? I mean, not really. It's kind of yellow. So
Just hang on. All right, cool. Welcome Quinn. Welcome all the people, names that I don't recognize. Welcome Spicy Soup, welcome Sparks, and welcome Quinn.
did you say spicy soup?
Yeah, Wilbird B with Spicy Soup. Yeah.
Ooh, I like spicy soup.
So, Victorious, let's see. I'm smoking now, but my lips are chemically peeled from that engine degreaser I figured was water.
What?
Again,
I recommend marking your containers more clearly.
Spicy soup for my family. MathB, not deliberately derailing this conversation, but someone in the Microsoft Facebook group found another employee scalping Xboxes and wanted to ask what they should do about it. And they're generally getting dunked on, and it's so sweet. Like, shut the fuck.
Wow.
What do you think?
I'm okay with that.
I mixed feelings about the whole like scalper situation. Like you do you get yours. Definitely, it's my impulse, but stop being such a dickhead.
Well, I'm with scalpers in the same way that I'm with like those emails. Send me $2,000 and I'll send you $10,000.
Yeah, you kind of got to be a
Like-
fool to use them.
Not only that, but you're already banking on someone being in a screwed position and that you're going to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, moral gray area at best.
Joe walking into chat saying, "Who wants to be banned?" Joking. Love y'all.
Joe.
Hello, Joe.
Instant chemical peel. I didn't swallow, which means I was a lucky fucker. Instant chemical peel, says Victorious. Jesus Christ, Victorious.
I mean, I really don't recommend that.
Like, don't do that
Did it-
again.
Did it not have a smell?
Yeah. Well,
I know not all of them do, but sniff it first.
Yeah, cat. It's a mixed bag. I tried to look on Google and YouTube for a cure, but they're crap. There's no cure for that sort of thing. It's not a cure territory. It's you have chemically burned yourself.
Yeah. You
that-
can treat it. That's
Yeah, no cure. You might want to. Jesus Christ! I mean, if you inhaled the fumes from degreaser, I suppose you could fine. It's fairly concentrated. It's probably like working in a in a mechanic's garage or something like that for a year or something. Some equivalent. But yeah, don't do that again.
yeah, bad plan all the way around.
Jesus Christ. Kodo, I sold hand sanitizer in April that I ordered in bulk in February, but I rebranded it with my own labels, so there was added value.
It's a very nice label.
The flying fish swam from the bottom of the ocean, then jumped out of the water and literally touched the sky. But before they return to the water, they're attacked by a flock of seagulls who either try to eat them or try to capture them and bring them to a fish store where they could be sold as pet fish. But secretly, those pet fish are sent to the government, Jesus Christ, where they're trained to be an elite force of secret agent animals who are sent on dangerous missions across the world. The name of this division of the government that trains these animals is called WTF, an organization who works closely with the animal kingdom, which is an actual place that exists at the center of the earth, where many undiscovered animals called cryptids live. And once every 24 hours after the earth makes a complete rotation, there's a loud ringing sound created by the magnetic field that surrounds the planet, and it can only be heard by crickets, which is why they make that cricket sound, which also means the. And there we go. That's where it ended. I don't know if there will be more, but that was an interesting something.
That was a lot.
Yeah. Joe, did you boil off urine? Because that's the only comment. We can't talk about this. We can't talk about this. We can't talk about this. Fucking changing entirely. Etsy crafted hand sanitizer. Somebody should make an SCP entry about this. My IQ isn't high enough for this theory, says Estrella. Hey, Estrella.
Well, I mean, if we look at it, Sue creation story does basically talk about how we came out of the earth.
But it disagrees with other native indigenous stories. So who's right?
Well, you have over 500 plus tribes.
Well,
that
so
have
who's
all
right?
different-
I don't know that we have enough information to know. As in, like, I've heard people using the genetic argument, which that's fine. The trouble that I have with that one is we don't actually understand genetics very well. I mean, we've had genetics for roughly 50 years, give or take. We didn't even know what it looked like until the 1960s. So, I mean, we've invented the telescope and we just now pointed it toward the moon. So sooner or later, we're going to figure out some details, but there's so much that's up in the air. I mean, we've got like,
yeah, but
there was
things like carbon dating and fossilization records don't even necessarily rely on, DNA studies, and they can place us into the 1,000-year range.
They can, but they don't necessarily give us a reliable information about things like stoneware. We can date the material that's around it, but the rock itself, we have no idea when it was produced. Then you can get into dendrochronology, and that's had some useful application, especially in regional. But I mean, the mapping for dendrochronology itself is, I hate this word, but it's problematic, only because it's so.
Mitre would love you.
It's so non-universal.
But see, when we're talking orders of
tree and a
magnitude,
different
when we're
species.
talking like 3 orders of magnitude, like right hundreds of thousands to millions territory, and even hundreds of millions territory in some instances. As in like differential between extinction of dinosaur versus some form of upright bipedal humanoid walking around.
Oh, well,
It's
the only
not
question I'd have there. No, the only question I'd have there is how are you defining dinosaur? If you, as in that broad
non-avian,
category.
166 million years ago extinct.
Oh, well then no.
Yeah, this
No,
should,
I'm talking about.
yeah.
that
There's
would be
there's
pretty
nuance of maybe 50,000 to 250,000 years that we could, given the record, play with.
Yeah.
But once you're into post Pangea, post dinosaur territory, the math adds up on that sort of stuff.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking about. I've seen some, I suppose they would call them dinosaur charting, that would involve animals like crocodiles, because they were around for the tail end. So some people will include them in charts of dinosaur progression. So you could make the argument pretty readily that humans were around for that. But no, if you're talking about like a Tyrannosaurus, God no.
Yeah, and that's where, the fossil record, there are no humanoids contained within the fossil record of the, Jurassic period.
Well, there is in Skyrim.
And Skyrim is an amazing game.
Skyrim. Yeah.
And, Skyrimming my way over a fucking mountain I still say Skyrim when I do that shit. 100%. I will literally yell Skyrim! Fucking as I glitch my way over the rocks or whatever the fuck I need to do.
Oh God, Bethesda is such a beautiful mess.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So basically, my
Skyrim.
philosophy or principle in my stating of these things is that for time immemorial, since the first contact here to us indigenous people, there has always been the looking for a way to make it so that indigenous people don't have as strong as of a claim, or a way to undermine us being here and this being our land. Whether it's from using our own spiritual belief system that we use, that no one owns the land, we are a part of the land,
Right.
to the Bering Strait and other theories that they keep using as a way to basically deny any indigenous claim to Turtle Island whatsoever.
Except I've never seen a single attempt to undermine a nativistic or indigenous claim to land utilizing the Polynesian boat theory or the Bering Strait theory.
Oh, I have.
I have too.
Well, then, okay.
Yeah, that's something that tends to get used specifically against people who are indigenous themselves. It's not actually an argument you're going to run into most of the time, I would bet, because it's not a conversation someone is going to want to have with you in the first place.
So,
but like
with
me, I get told we didn't have wheels like weekly.
How does that even work? Because that doesn't undermine your argument for claim of land ownership or rights too.
I never said it was logical.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's my point with Sue is, okay, so someone waged a shitty argument. It doesn't undermine, people use scientific theorems and hypotheses all the time for bad faith arguments. It doesn't undermine the theory or the hypothesis or the study. What it does is undermine their argument because they don't understand what they're arguing for.
Yeah, the way I tend to get around it is by ignoring it. Because frankly, I mean, they're arguing in favor of land ownership in the first place. And my easiest answer to that is, well, cool, then all your neighbor has to do is shoot you, and now he owns all your stuff. And then suddenly they don't want to make that argument anymore. So it's not that hard for me to like skip past that. I tend to try not to get bogged down in the who was here first conversation, because as far as I'm concerned, the people who were successful were the ones who at least get some cred. You know, we've got Amazonian tribes who developed a type of soil that's self-fertilizing. We've got northern tribes that were able to cultivate plants that are now extinct because Europeans decided to just harvest them out of existence. So it's like, okay, who did better with the resources they were allocated? You know, there's several ways that I'll approach the argument.
That wasn't the conversation. The conversation was validity of creation myths. And the fact that I stated unequivocally, everybody has their creation myth and everybody's welcome to it. But the fact of the matter is it's highly unlikely that any of these creation myths are going to actually be true.
I don't even have that conversation.
Yeah.
Spicy Soup.
The
two indigenous people that are here on voice chat right now is me, Lasu, and Tale of Twin Rabbits is the other indigenous person on this stream at the moment in voice chat.
Yeah,
I wave.
I mean, you know, you might as well argue for the Greek creation myth or, you know, Balinese creation myth or Taoist creation myth or the Buddhist creation. It doesn't matter. None of them are going to actually be true. These are methodologies of explaining something that's beyond your explanation at the time.
Can we go by the ones that are most interesting, though?
I personally, that's how I would go from a storyteller standpoint, is if we're going to give airtime to any of them, for fuck's sake, it should be the one that entertains the most.
I mean, the Greek one is so boring.
Well, it's all born of, you know, North African mystery religions and then washed out.
Yeah, and they're all about banging. And it's like, yeah.
We used to have really hot sex.
But that's good television.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
See, but it's so boring. Like, and then they banged. Okay.
And then Zeus turned himself into an ant and seduced a woman, and they banged.
And then he turned into a swan, and they banged. And then he turned into a goat, and they banged. And it's like, okay, so one guy couldn't keep it in his pants. That's the creation myth. That's all you've got. Really? Try harder. Man, my guy's got flying snakes. Come on.
My guy's got we were all inside of a cave in the spirit realm, and we were told to wait until Creator was done with the earth and preparing it for us to step out of that cave.
See, that's way more interesting than and then the dude banged. You know, come on.
Well, be perfectly honest, you need to sex it up a bit. It isn't way more interesting. You could argue more interesting, but not way more. You need some boobies in that story. I'm sorry, you're just not going to capture your primary demographic.
Hey, it's not my fault that Michael Bay took over the world.
Michael Bay is the most genius filmmaker of his generation, not because he creates, but because he gives the people exactly what they want. Nothing more, nothing less. He knows exactly what the people want, and he's made himself billions of dollars giving them exactly what they want.
No, not wrong.
People go to those fucking movies in droves. In droves. They go by millions.
Yeah.
You know, you can say that. And then you watch Meatloaf's I Would Do Anything for Love video, and you realize that Michael Bay only has one trick.
Of course he does. And that trick made him billions of dollars.
It's dull.
I
just want a little...
You should go back and listen to the interview one of his film professors did. She's a professor at one of the most prestigious film schools in the country and one of the board members who decides for films that go on the Criterion Collection, right? It's a woman who has decent film knowledge. She speaks extraordinarily highly of Michael Bay based on what he did at school and that sort of thing. And she gives a little bit of insight. He's actually insanely creative and a fairly decent filmmaker unto his own right, but he is the quintessential decision to sell out. He has enough knowledge to know exactly how to make these shit films. This is nothing for him. This is macaroni and cheese. He can whip this out in no time. He knows exactly how to make it, and people are gonna fucking love it.
But see, what the problem is, though, usually with people like that is, yeah, they will make like the commercial, studio movie, but then they'll go make their little indie thing.
No.
They're
He's
passionate about.
he's sold
And
out.
He just
Yeah.
doesn't have that.
No, he's just like, fuck it. Like, I just, I want that.
He's like, Transformers is my indie project.
Yeah,
Like, what are you talking
I want $5 billion, and you fuckers are gonna give it to me. That's
he's like, I could, stick to my guns and go with my artistic beliefs, or I could fuck supermodels and make money. So
yeah,
See, but why not do both? Like
Yeah,
every
why can't
year
I
or
do both?
two.
because he doesn't want to. He
This
literally
is-
doesn't
this-
want to. Like,
So
I'm
that's-
just like,
bored.
if I went to go make an indie film, I'd have to stop fucking these supermodels, and I can't split my time for both.
the dude is literally the quintessential definition of selling out. He made a decision. He was like, I could do this or that. This makes me billions of dollars. I'm good.
See, and that's for me. That's just weak sauce. Me.
Well, that's
doesn't
but
help
that's
that I find
you.
others.
See, that's the thing is there are plenty of people in our society that if you said, hey, if you just had to make Michael Bay films for the rest of your life and you could have $5 billion at your disposal, would you? People would be lined up around the block.
This is why we can't have nice things.
This is true.
This is why I love Michael Bay, is because he is an exemplar, right? He's an extreme case. He's not trying to do the art film in between. He is the definition. He's your perfect test case. He's what it looks like to sell out. His own film professors have said, "Oh no, he's creative. He's perfectly capable. He could put out that thing you're expecting. He just doesn't."
All you're selling me on is that he's a douchebag.
Oh yeah. It's a complete capitalist douchebag. But in that purity, there's something that can be studied. There's something that can be analyzed.
He's a majestic douchebag.
Well, he's a pure douchebag, right? Like that's
purest form.
yeah, exactly. Like if you're studying chemistry, you want to isolate the compounds, right? There you go.
So really, what you see him more of is a sample case.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Hence
Here's how
exemplar.
not to live, children.
Well, here's one decision.
I mean, technically, that's not that far fetched because most indigenous tribes also did use, how do I put it? People who have done stupid and crazy things or things that shouldn't be done as an example what not to do, and use that as part of being a really good teacher of learning what not to do.
Yeah, but for us, there were stories. Like, I mean, no one
Yeah.
wants to be Coyote.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look at what that dumbass did.
Yeah. Exactly.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me that like I'm peripherally aware of the reference you have just made with the Coyote story, right? You're telling me that no one, given the base rate of antisocial personality disorders that are exhibited throughout the human spectrum, people didn't identify. You're gonna get a Michael Bay no matter what. You're gonna get a Coyote no matter what.
There's a difference. In most of our stories, he ends up doing something that would cause a normal human to die.
Yeah. Same
Um,
thing with the spider.
Well, people do that all the time.
Grandfather Naktomi, the spider, grandfather spider, and grandfather coyote.
Yeah, they tended to not get rewarded in a lot of our cultures to nearly the same degree.
Yeah.
I would say immortality in the form of legend is really all that any of these people are seeking.
I mean, that's a way to look at it, I suppose. But
They're legendary.
see, the way that it tends to play out with a lot of the stories is kind of similar to the way that people are starting to now analyze whether or not it would actually be fun to be a vampire. And it turns out if you've been alive for 6,000 years, you kind of go quietly insane, and then it's not quiet anymore.
Well, it's what you just
The-
have, you know. You just
Yeah,
step out into the sun after you're tired of it and call it a day.
right.
No big deal.
Invent the space program specifically so that you can shoot yourself as far away as possible. But
Um,
yeah, it's never really regarded as, it's kind of like, okay, here's the thing. And this is something that a lot of natives that at least I know have really had a question about. The very first, like, if you get into the later books of Twilight, eventually people are like, okay, yeah, this is kind of a twisted story.
I'm
for most-
sorry. We just have to start it. If you get into the later books of Twilight, implying that you have.
But you've acknowledged that popularity is its own reward. So if we're going by that, then Twilight was a good book.
It is a reward. No, it is a reward.
God. Oh,
see
God.
what I just said? Okay.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
I'm just saying.
Oh no.
If the argument if the argument can be made, then it can apply in equal case here.
I don't like this hypothetical anymore.
See,
I'm okay
this
with
is
it.
where
I'm
this is where
okay
a lot
with
of
it.
natives were like, "Wait a minute." The whole point of the first book is he meets her in a high school,
Yeah.
and he's 120 years old.
Oh yeah. All vampirism is creepy when you start running the numbers.
Well, that's the thing. For us, that kind of behavior is automatically grotesque. And yet, the American audience ate that shit up. And we're like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? So,
Mhm.
yeah, there's a lot of...
Well, you do realize that you're gonna have to have a conversation with the Japanese as well, right?
I'm not prepared to do that.
Yeah, it's not just white people. Sorry to burst
See-
that little bubble really quickly,
Hey,
but
I'm not saying they're
thousand-year-old childlike creatures that are dating high schoolers is pretty much a portion of their economy at this point.
Holy
I-
shit.
I never said that it was only Americans. I'm simply saying that in this particular case, the reaction was, what the fuck? This is weird.
Well,
I'm not here to debate the merits of anime. That is not my world.
oh, who's our anime person? There's somebody in the community that like has deep anime knowledge, like total weeaboo shit, that like can explain that shit for us. If you're here, speak up. I'm sorry, I forgot you.
You're welcome to the convo. I have no authority over that topic whatsoever.
But I mean,
Is there an anti-weeb? Not in the sense of like loathing them or anything.
yeah, just
but-
like
Mega
I have
weeb.
yeah, like a nega weeb. Is there such a
the,
thing?
shit.
the fact that you're referring to it as negaweeb probably disqualifies you as negaweeb status, but
Well, no, I get it from. Do you not remember Darkwing Duck?
yes.
Nega Duck?
Okay. Well, I mean,
no, the only reason I brought that reference out because I watched Scott Pilgrim last night and
Yeah,
he had to
the-
fight
the-
Nega Scott.
the nega thing is a common, like it's been used in manga for a while. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a theme. It's been used in video games and in manga and anime and cartoons for years and years and years and years now.
But I want it back. I liked Nega,
Nope. Sorry, it didn't even belong to him to start with.
but I want Nega Duck.
Maga Duck.
no, Nega Duck. Oh God. Well, see, but that
Well,
would.
I mean,
work.
is he not? Wait, Donald Duck, not so much Darkwing. Donald for sure.
The problem is Nega Duck was yellow, and Darkwing Duck was purple.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he was.
Nobody
Nega
has
Duck.
made a MAGA duck. I went and looked.
I'm confused. How is Darkwing related to Scrooge McDuck?
I don't know if they're related or not. I know that they're in the same universe.
Okay.
Because his adopted
So-
daughter used to hang out with Huey, Dewey, and Louie when they were
Mhm.
over with Scrooge. But
Mhm.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what the relationship is.
So I do know.
We need the lore.
Yeah. So
the
Scrooge
deep story?
Scrooge McDuck is the uncle to Donald.
Right.
All right. He is his nephew. So,
Which doesn't technically that make Huey, Dewey, and Louie his great nephews?
yes.
Because they always just called them nephews, but I'm assuming that's because they didn't want to confuse those poor innocent children.
All right.
And I know Launchpad was somehow involved, but I don't know if that was just friend of the family situation or if he actually helped Darkwing out at some point. I don't remember precisely.
Oh, I do have I have some weird trivia about Donald. Because the reason he left Huey, Dewey, and Louie with Scrooge McDuck is so that he could go off and serve in the Navy.
Oh, so that was his military story. Okay.
And there is an actual military file on Donald Duck.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this like Santa shows up on radar every year?
Yeah, it is. Like actual, like official involvement.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we want to talk about like crappy American cartoons, I got you covered. Because like what the story that was breaking out about the sea creatures that became part of a secret organization. At first, I thought they were reciting the story to the, I can't remember what their name was, but it was sea superheroes that were part of a television series called The Comic Strip. That was in like the mid 80s.
They're not related.
Damn.
His actual name is Drake Mallard.
That's Donald Duck's or
No,
Darkwing?
that's Darkwing.
Okay. What's Negaduck's real name? Is it just Negaduck?
No, it's gonna have a character backstory.
I mean, it has to.
Hey, gentlemen, I gotta run. I gotta go run the dog out.
Oh, was
All
that
right,
a dog?
Great to talk with you, man.
Hey, no, thanks. Hey, no, I've had fun just sitting and listening in. This has been fun. It was a long and windy road.
Well, and you reintroduced the Nega conversation, so, you know, you've contributed a great deal.
All right, guys, thanks. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Catch you later, SJ. I think
Tiger sharks.
I
That
think
was the name of the sea creatures that were heroes.
he was born of Darkwing Duck.
Oh.
Yeah, he is a creation. He's he is the overlord of the Negaverse. So he is sort of a dimensional copy, an alternate, an evil version that made his way into our dimension.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Did Gyro Gearloose make Darkwing's gun?
I don't know.
Or did Darkwing make it himself? See, now I'm lost in backstory. This is your fault.
Gas gun.
Hey, Harto.
Ayo.
Hello?
Hello.
No, it doesn't seem so.
Oh,
You
disappointed.
were hanging out with your pals the other day.
He's been watching a lot of Letterkenny.
No.
Was that the sound of disappointment?
No, it's,
No, that was just Canadian for no.
Oh, okay.
yeah, he has been.
Got to pull out the O.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a assimilator. I mean, I'm German. Like English is not my first language, but if you put me in front of something, I binge watch it. I kind of start to adapt the,
Good Lord, what have you been watching?
Letterkenny. It's the best fucking show ever.
Letterkenny. I am not conversant in this.
Oh, yeah,
Of course you're not. You're American.
it's a Canadian-made comedy featuring
I know
like
who Vercingetorix is.
it's this sort of I don't know. It's Trailer Park Boys but for hicks,
Oh God.
right? It takes place in a rural ag town. And it is, it's really kind of unique, but it carries that very quintessential Canadian sense of humor. And it's a fun time.
Oh, I've seen that. It's like a younger red green. Yeah, I know Letterkenny. Okay, I saw like one episode. Meh.
Oh no, you have to. Yeah, one episode doesn't do it. This is
Oh, I'm
No,
sure.
yeah, this is something you have to like watch a season and then it clicks. It's like, oh, all right, this is fucking brilliant.
Shit's fucking genius.
Yeah, it
Hey,
is. It's a
boys.
solid show.
Show solid, boys.
Can you please say hi to my friend Nick Gurr? No, I can't say hi to your friend Nick Gurr. It's amazing
Is
what
it-
proper enunciation can do to prevent these sorts of things.
Is that his actual name?
No, it's
Gurr?
some dude trying to get you to
Yes,
say
yes,
the alternative.
It's a very spicy boy. Very spicy.
Ah, so that's what passes
Yeah,
for wit.
yeah.
there?
Very
Yes,
edgy,
that's what-
edgy.
Yeah, that's what passes for wit in those circles.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's like, have you seen that tweet of that neo-Nazi, that American neo-Nazi dude? Like, so he said, like, oh, so I've been like invited by some of the lesser races to take an IQ test to rank myself, and it's like, yeah, I got a 96 IQ. Doesn't get any better than that.
Give me some reaction to these Trump pardons.
Oh, wow.
We talked about them earlier in the stream. Bunch of fucking guys who committed war crimes. Bunch of fucking politicians who are, you know, corrupt, and a bunch of people who provided cover for fucking Trump and argued on his behalf. That basically sums up the Kushner's
Hey.
Kushner's dad.
One of them was Russian.
Yeah,
One
and
of
he
them was
thinks that
Russian.
like 100 is like the best score you can get on an IQ test. Like, sorry, they're a bud, but that's just average.
Let's see. Yeah, the racist trolls have really gone downhill.
My stream one day telling me that they wanted to debate me and that for IQ. I was
No,
like,
no,
oh,
no.
yeah.
On average, like they're not all stupid, but on average, they're just fucking like stupid.
Well, he
know.
said it great. They're not all stupid, but on average, they're stupid.
You know, okay, so here's where I got stuck. I didn't know enough about IQ and IQ tests and all that crap when I was a kid to know that I was supposed to have bragging rights.
Oh, you
But-
didn't have the best education system to start off, so
Well, no, it's the US.
yeah.
But they tried to get me into the gifted program. And I'm like, why? And they all just sat there staring at me. And I'm like, "But, okay, you have to have some basis for this. You know, I'm smart enough to figure out you have to have some basis for this desire. And the reaction that I got was something like, your average IQ score is 130. If we don't
Yeah, that's
get
pretty
you-
good. That's welcome to the club, eh?
Well, that was the thing, that I didn't know what that meant. So I thought that it was something similar to like a I don't know, an SAT score. So I'm like, okay, so what's a perfect score? And then
Ah, boy.
they stared at me harder. It was such a weird conversation. But yeah,
Yeah,
I've
you guys
never
need the
understood
metric system
IQs.
bad, eh?
Can you metric an IQ score? I don't
Well, no, but just
in old money?
everything just
Yeah,
makes more
just
sense
take it
if you
from
have a more
Fahrenheit to
rational,
Celsius
like-
and call it a day.
Yeah. Okay, so the average
Well,
score
no,
is actually a
I mean,
negative.
the 100 is the mean of the population. Like 100 is the absolute average. It's the middle. It's the middle of the bell curve, basically.
And
100 is
theory.
the average.
by the way, the test is fucking broken.
Oh, yeah, no, of
so
course, it's completely
completely
fucking broken. But there's way more like there's better versions of it that have like a lot of different categories and respect different kinds of intelligence.
A high IQ
But it's
score
still,
is,
yeah, I agree. It's very fucking broken.
all a high
Welcome
IQ
and
score proves is that you're good at taking IQ tests.
Exactly. Well, yes.
well,
yeah,
you're good
yes
at
and no.
you're
Yes
good
and
at
no.
what is it? You'd be grammar comprehension and
recognition.
math
Yeah.
and pattern recognition are the
Yes,
things that
yes,
it tests
yes,
for,
yes.
basically.
Like the shit ones are mostly built on pattern recognition.
I don't know what mine was. I kept cheating, says Dumpling. And welcome ranked choice voting. I prefer approval voting. But I'll take ranked choice. Oh, most assuredly, I would take ranked choice over the shit show we have now. But yeah, I prefer approval.
What, you don't like first past the post?
Yeah. It's been working wonderfully.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Okay.
And you know what else has worked really well? Giving the president absolute authority over the Justice Department. I think that has that dividends like you wouldn't believe.
I don't know. I don't know who. We'd
Excellent.
I don't know who we'd give it to or fucking make it its own independent entity, but we couldn't. Probably
The French.
You know, fucking yeah.
Oh, fuck the French.
Just give it to the French.
As a German, fuck the French.
I think
I think you might be a little biased.
if I had to give it to somebody,
You think so? You think so?
Jesus, I would probably. You know,
I like the French.
I'd probably put it under the authority of like, I don't know, maybe New Zealand or something.
The UN.
No,
We'll have the UN Security Council.
that's
It'll
just
be
the
fine.
U.S.
We'll just give it to Momo. It'll be fine.
You know, I'd be more comfortable with that than a lot of the options. To be perfectly frank, you're one human being. We could deal with you. The snort at human being.
No, I the first thing that went through my head was, and we can just tempt with specific foods. It'll be
There you
fine.
go. Okay. Yeah, like you're just a single person. We could deal with you if things got out of control. Like the way things are set up, you know, systems and all of that. But, you know, yeah, it would we would need to
Give it to Canada doesn't have a Security Council seat? I thought they did.
No, I don't.
Oh, we lost that. Thanks to our one of our prime ministers, when the whole entire genocidal came out. And
Then how the hell does the US still have a council?
Because we are the UN. What part of this don't you understand? We are them.
Biggest fucking swinging dick on the planet. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to last much longer.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But it's still gonna take a few decades. It's not gonna end as fast as your fucking like.
So there's five
FDs of
permanent
this
members, right?
Yeah, and then the rest rotate.
Yeah, it's China, France, Russia, the U.S., and the UK, right? Those are the perms, right?
Wait, St. Vincent and the Grenadines has a rotating membership?
Yes, they're on. It's Belgium, the Dominican Republic, Estonia, Germany, Indonesia, Niger, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, South Africa, Tunisia, and Vietnam.
What a weird little list.
Yeah.
That's not even like the list of ally powers or something.
and welcome. Thanks for following, Kai.
Yeah. Oh well, thanks for the follow, Spicy.
Spicy.
By the way, Germany gave you the COVID vaccine. Can we have a seat now?
No.
Are we good now?
You have a
Oh,
rotating
fuck off.
seat. You have a rotating seat. God,
Um,
some people are so ungrateful.
I know, right? So the way the seats are allocated is that there's one for Africa, one for the Asia Pacific group,
Oh, God.
one for Latin America and the Caribbean, and two for Western Europe and others.
And
Of course we
other.
have two.
Yeah.
Poor Antarctica. A whole continent, and they've got nothing.
I mean, we brought you all civilization. Don't forget. That was sarcasm. Please don't do that.
Please don't kill you.
Yes, please.
So
don't
it looks like the next ones up are going to be Mexico, India, Norway, Ireland, and Kenya.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep, those are the ones for the 2021, 21 to 22.
France.
Who was vying for it this time? Who all? Oh, there's obviously those, but somebody lost.
Like,
Oh,
honestly,
Canada!
like,
Canada! Canada had their hat in the ring this last time, but they lost to Ireland and Norway.
Just honestly, like, I don't think at this point Germany wants a part of that. It's like you guys make your hands dirty, like your fingers, like we want no part of it.
Well, Merkel's got the EU, so she's
Yeah.
doing
Oh
fine.
no. Germany is absolutely dominant. That's in lots of disgusting ways. That's not even a question.
Yeah, y'all are doing fine.
Oh yeah. Well, it's relative, but I'm happy to live here. Let's just put it like that.
I love premarital summation. UK Security Council, aka no, there's no such thing as genocide in French colonies, said the French vetoing the UN vote on genocide in French colonies.
Yeah, wasn't that a weird vote?
Mitre is back.
Who could have seen that coming?
Mitre appeared.
Yeah, like I said, it is the permanent members, and that's it. Like that's the fact that there are permanent members and then a rotating group, and there's one country allowed in for all of Africa,
That is such fucking bullshit.
one country for all of Asia Pacific outside of outside of China.
Africa should get at least like 5 seats or something.
Yeah,
For
well,
fuck's sake.
like I said, we wrote that one. Mitre was at the beach. Fuck you, Mitre.
Yeah, fuck you, Mitre.
Let's see.
I'm fine. It's 20 degrees outside, but yeah.
It's
fine.
hilarious. Like yesterday,
Fucking
it was
fine.
14 degrees here. Like I live in fucking Germany. Like I used to remember where I could be like building igloos. Like I used to build igloos in the winter, but that shit hasn't been happening for 15 years now. And now it's fucking 14 degrees in the middle of December. Like what the fuck is that?
It's probably something like 43 degrees where Mitre is, and 110 for.
Yeah, I was talking Celsius.
Yeah. I try and do the conversions on air for the people who are of both worlds.
Oh, a tiny hat appeared.
Yeah, yes, a tiny hat, and it might kill you in a video game on Titanfall. It might kill you on Titanfall, and then you get killed by a tiny hat, and you're just like so embarrassed.
Yeah, oh, that's fine, console peasant. That's fine.
I've
Do
never
your
played
thing.
Titanfall.
Whoa, I play on PC.
Wow, so this is
Okay, good on
happening.
you. Good on you.
Thank you. It's a beautiful, beautiful rig. I love.
I've never played Titanfall.
PCMR all the way. That's the only way where you can still say that.
I've never seen Avatar: The Last Airbender. How cool am
Oh
I?
my gosh, who is
Yep.
what?
Yep, bring all the
Offended.
attention right back to
I've
me.
never seen that too, and don't fucking annoy me with that shit.
It's really
I
good.
won't have it. I won't allow it.
It's really good.
It is really good.
I mean, okay.
I mean,
Sure, fine. Whatever.
I fucking see it or don't see it, but it is a good series.
Sure.
I've
Watch
also
out, one of
seen-
those people who's like, "Oh, it was in my childhood, so it's the best thing everybody had to have in my childhood." Like,
See,
look, it's
I've
actually
met
kind
my
of funny.
childhood, and I wasn't impressed the first time. I don't know why they keep trying to bring it back.
I'm
Like,
more
I
of
don't
a
understand.
I'm more of an Akira Helsing bubblegum crisis kind of gal. So
Kodo, Avatar is not Naruto for Ameribus. They knew how to write a beginning, middle, and end to
Also
Avatar,
true.
right? Naruto's still fucking going, right? That shit's just
Yeah.
still being cranked out, still a commercial cash grab. Like,
so it's Pokemon.
exactly. Like, Avatar was a story, at least. It had a functional beginning, a functional middle, and a functional end. They did
And Digimon, I
spin-offs,
guess.
they did other series, admittedly, but The Last Airbender at least was an actual story.
Wait, you mean a plot?
Yeah, that.
God,
What a
who does
concept.
that?
You
Well,
know?
and it had funny writing. The characters really grew. They had the 5-man trope done really well. The little blind girl was comically tough.
Hey, Ace.
Right. Oh. Hey, Ace. Hey, my Ace.
Hey,
Alaska
How is
just...
Ace?
Wait, what is that? Hang on.
Ace there.
What am I hanging on to?
Alaska just has nukes and women politicians with rifles and NRA memberships, not not igloos. I don't even know what this is in reference to. Oh, lies. Only Canada has igloos. Okay, I had to go back a ways.
Well,
Yeah, no,
Well,
they,
I used to build igloos here in fucking Germany in the winter. Don't like I did that. Like it was fun. Can't do those shits no more though.
no, that's, I mean, that's the thing. It's, yeah, a lot of people are super emphatic about Avatar because they grew up with it, right? It is something, but you know, it wasn't a childhood thing for me. I watched it as an adult, and it's good.
It's just
Yeah.
Avatar the movie by what's his face again?
Oh, we don't.
Oh.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
No, that
well, no,
movie
no.
never
He's talking
happened.
about the blue people.
Yeah, the blue people.
Ah, that,
Oh, the Avatar, what was it? Dances with Dark Elves. Yeah,
James. Is
Yeah.
that James Cameron? That's James Cameron, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Cameron.
I'm gonna steal that with my D&D group later. They're gonna
Oh.
think I did it. So thank
Let's
you.
So
just
that's
say
fine, that's
it
fine.
was a very American movie built for a certain audience.
Oh yeah, that one.
I like. Don't get me wrong. I like the message. I like
yours.
the message. Beautiful message.
What was the message? Fucking.
the message was CGI is great.
Ah,
No, I think the message was, you're a part of the planet. Maybe don't kill the environment.
Yeah, basically.
I thought it.
Dragons.
Yeah, but what if fucking dragons? Because
Yeah.
But you see,
that's
you
what
said-
that's
but-
what that
but
fucking braid does.
giant
Is it
robot.
fucks?
The
It
answer-
fucks.
the
You're
answer to
fucking
what a
those
dragon
animals.
is-
That whole
All right,
movie
they
was
do
just a,
fuck with animals and a tree.
it's just, I mean, that whole movie is just insanity when you realize, like, you're like, wait,
It is absolutely.
this is how they
That-
copulate?
I want to say
It
in
is
the
just a
chat,
bunch of
Lidbird
bullshit,
with
but-
spicy soup has a really good point. It was a generic message that white man will come and save the indigenous people.
No, I
you're
think
not.
I prefer to think Spicy Soup was literally correct the first time. It was a generic message that the white
The
man will
indices?
come to save the indices. Yes,
The insert
Yes,
minority
yes.
population here,
Yes, very fucking
Yes.
problematic.
I prefer that.
which is why I call it Dances with Night Elves.
But what if
Yeah,
blue
yeah,
titties?
yeah.
Hey, Gary.
I'm sorry, Matt Ray 69. No, thank
No,
you.
it's all bad takes. It's not a lot of bad takes. We're exclusively bad takes here.
Okay, so I have a question.
Blue People Avatar was a classic of American cinema. How dare you?
Okay, so I have like 3 Discord servers. I mean, like
big.
folders. One is politics with the little hammer and sickle. The other one is YouTubers / video games. Where
Oh,
should I
fuck
put?
Soviets.
Where should I put Proudly Radical?
YouTubers / video games. Clearly, that's the
Okay,
category I
but-
fit
but
into.
You don't. But I also have a politic with the hammer and sickle folder.
Yeah, but he's not a commie.
He's not a commie.
No, I'm an
He is
anarchist.
not a commie.
Fuck no.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm also anarchist left. I guess they don't have the little A sign, but they had the little. They might have the little A sign. I'm gonna do both.
I mean, you know, you see, there's anti-authoritarian communists, but for some reason they tend to go, on average, more to the authoritarian side. So,
Zealot.
man,
What?
I fell asleep when the main dude became a blue person and woke up because of explosions at the end. Apparently, I missed nothing.
Not a damn thing.
I don't
You
know.
know what you missed? You missed an hour of explosion. And,
well,
and
okay.
chanting.
Particle,
That was it.
a lot of particle effects.
This-
Um,
those
that.
just pretty flowers.
Yeah, there was some really good renders in between. So
Yeah,
I mean, it
and-
really
looked- it
weird
looked
fucking.
amazing. It looked great.
jellyfish
Hey,
that live
Ninja.
in the air, because that's a
Yeah.
thing. Physics is whatever, you know.
Okay,
an
now, you
alien
know what
world.
Was a good movie, Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim
Oh, I
is
love that
actually
fucking-
good.
That's
It's
a good
cheesy,
action movie.
but it's
Like,
good.
That's a decent, good action movie.
I
That's an
spent
actual
my
pretty
whole
good action
summer-
movie.
Okay, I spent my whole summer working at this like camp in the woods. And I came back
Sounds
and my friends got me super high, and I had seen no trailers for it, and I was just thrown into the theater, and it was fucking so amazing. I was so
Yes.
high.
Yes, it was great. It's a great fucking romp.
So I just
I mean,
moved.
just about
I just
every
moved
movie
us
we've named
over.
so far is better when you're stoned.
I just moved us over to just chatting. Dem blue titties. Yeah, no.
That was okay. Okay, so I go to, of all things, an open mic night because I am at heart a masochist. And this guy, his entire set was complete crap. it was like
Oh.
obscure weeb jokes, you know, because you're already playing to a finite audience with a weeb joke, and then he's doing like obscure shit. And the only joke he ever gave that I even remotely laughed at was at the very end of his set. He was talking about how his friend isn't familiar with the internet, and he was looking for like avatar porn, and all the guy said was, "Dude, Google." And that was the only joke. And I'm like, yes, that's true. This movie was created for furries and alien porn. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair
Hey,
point.
actually, hey, so random thing with the people in chat. I've got Jackbox. You guys like to play a little round of Jackbox?
I do not have Jackbox.
You know, you don't need it. You just
Oh,
need
it's
to,
right. We just use the phone to link in.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that even?
It's depends which edition of Jackbox, which games are going to be included in it. But
Ooh,
What's
it's kind of
Jackbox?
risky.
Well, my
So,
friends and I, our favorite is the one where you have to write based on the prompts, because the claymation animation in the background looks like a giant pulsing anus.
Oh, I've never noticed that before.
Yeah.
But
Quick
I have
flash.
one that just might. Maybe we should just play it sometime. It's called Talking Points. You will be given like a presentation, and you will personally have to talk the entire time. And everybody in the audience can vote up or down on how you're doing. And then there's somebody else, one of the other players, will be picking out what your next picture will be and what your next text will be. And you'll get like real-time feedback.
Can I fight the people in the audience?
No, but they can give you ratings.
Then I'm out. No.
Okay.
is there a mechanism for me to jump through the internet into their phones and punch them?
Yes. Is that
Actually,
an option?
yeah, that's how headphones work. Like if you punch your microphone, a fist will come out the other end.
I was just saying.
No,
All
no,
right.
no.
I think we have something here.
Also works with weed. So if anybody could like blow some weed into the thing, so I could get a little higher.
Higher.
Yeah, I'm not even high anymore.
Oh, okay.
Be right back. I gotta do something with my computer.
Okay.
I do.
I just want to bring it up. I just want to put it out there. Maybe another
Duly
time.
noted. Kodo has stated that they never came across any Navi porn in their furry communities. Just
Don't
doubt
make me
it.
look it up. I know it
doubt it.
exists. Okay, I got it. No, it exists.
yeah, 100% it exists. Rule 34. Come on. And they're already halfway to furry
Of course
anyway.
It exists.
You know what?
I've seen it.
Okay, good.
Feel
I mean,
free.
there's Pokemon porn.
Feel free. There's everything porn. That's Rule 34 to
There's
start with. If
100%
it exists,
everything
there's
sexualized.
porn for it.
When
Like,
I
humans are
originally
animals.
heard Rule
Haven't you heard
34,
humans are animals? So
I tried looking for porn of an Xbox just to see if there was porn of everything, and I couldn't find porn of an Xbox. So
What about a tactical Xbox?
Okay, let's look up tactical Xbox.
That's Rule 35.
I thought Rule 35 is porn will be made of it.
No, that's just 34 sub A. 35 is there's the tactical version of all things.
wait a second. Does Ace live in the States or in
Yeah.
the UK?
No, Ace is a unfortunately U.S.
Ace lives in their own place, really. A
Ace in
sort of
United
hyper reality.
Kingdom or I don't remember. Like bet. No, not. Nah, fuck. You're in the
Ace is
States,
one of
right?
ours. I know for a fact.
Fuck.
Okay, but that just leaves Hart Joe. You're German.
Well, at some point we're still gonna smoke a joint together, but whatever. Yes, I'm German.
Okay.
It sounded very fucking condescending. You want to take that fucking
no,
tone out of your voice there, bud?
I fucking wish I was there,
And-
man.
And
Like,
who
I
says
know
the
it's not
Germans are quick to
hot
anger?
shit. The United States is like fucking.
Oh
garbage,
yeah, no,
man.
Germans are absolutely well known for being very like fucking not
Yeah, no, we know.
internalizing. No.
We've met your language. It's fine. It's like Klingon. We understand.
Your language is descendant of mine language.
After,
Yeah, we had to soften
after
that
it
shit
had a
up.
threesome.
Yeah, no, I prefer English to German. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the English language. Don't get me
Whoa,
wrong.
why?
beautiful.
Because our language is nicer. You ever heard
Yeah, it's a nice
German?
melting pot. There's just like there's
Fucking
French in
aggressive.
there. There's romantic shit in there.
Cat.
Like everything.
Cat,
A little
you
bit
Yeah,
of
I
that.
love it.
cat,
Hey,
you
are there
biting
any words
off.
in German that are like super similar in English?
Have you
What?
heard the most difficult prison to escape from? Is this a setup?
It's fucking
It sounds like a
Curio.
setup.
Curio says this all the time. It's literally a Curio bet.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's
By the
literally
way,
cats
how's
cats
the
biting
SUV
off.
Situation?
Cats biting
Oh, yeah,
off
what
some
happened
of
with the
his
car?
shit.
Yeah, what happened with the fucking car?
What about a car?
Oh,
Cops being assholes, basically.
yeah. If
Not a
Cur-
rare story, but
if Curio's
not
around
really,
still, I
isn't
mean,
it?
Curio did stop by earlier. Curio, motherfucker, if you're there, get your ass into voice chat.
Yeah, come on, motherfucker. I love your company.
Yeah, but it's your mind. There you go. That's the completion to the bit.
the mind prison.
Yeah.
That's
Fuck,
the joke.
man, that takes me back to when I was 16.
It's one of
Fucking
those.
kill me.
It's not a punchline. It's almost a Mitch Hedberg kind of thing. It's
Damn
the,
close, yeah.
it's the delivery.
Takes me back to fucking stoners who got stuck in when I smoked my first joint when I was like 17, 16.
Yeah, that joke is all about the delivery.
Were they stuck in their mind prison?
Oh yeah, they were like they were trying to tell you you're stuck in your mind prison. And I'm like, yeah, shit, I'm a few steps ahead, but thanks there, bud.
Oh, he's about to start. You know what? Fucking cool. Start it then, motherfucker.
Yeah.
What is he starting?
So damn cool.
Yeah,
those-
look at him.
Get me the fuck out of
being
here
all
already.
smug and shit.
Jesus
mean,
Christ.
Fuck.
Him and his fucking
Get it
hat.
started there. Get after her there, bud. Like, what are you waiting for, bud?
It's actually halfway decent.
What the
It's
hat?
not that hard, to be honest. Like, the Canadian accent is the most fucking easy thing to do.
Yo, let's
can
all
you do it?
let's all speak
I
our
don't
mother
hear.
tongues in Curio's chat.
I don't know enough Kalinago to do that.
Well, my mother tongue is just this, so it's perfect. I don't have to work hard.
I actually have a hard time doing the fake German accent, like the over the top German English accent. I mean,
Well,
I
can you
should
just do like an Austrian accent?
Austrian.
Yeah.
What, you mean those inbred kid fucking mountain fuckers?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have the same opinion about people from Alabama, but yes.
I think a
I
German
mean,
faking a
it's
German accent
just
would
German. It's basically the same thing, just worse.
That's the thing. A German faking a
Yeah,
German accent would be like Dutch.
Arnold always said it. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Well, the Arnold always, he said the and he did the thing with the.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's
that's
just
it.
steroids. That's not Austrian. That's steroids.
Yeah, no, that's what we make. Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
make fun of. Like if we were gonna
Kind of
do it,
Icelandic, really. Yeah.
you know, it's all the same to us.
Well, I don't want to tell you how to do things, but well, maybe I could tell you a thing or two, maybe.
Okay, that's just gay.
We moeten bloemen brengen.
What? No, I thought that was a German.
Klövjool.
Gossio,
Klövjool.
Goffio.
Klövjool, ga maar lekker batten met je oma.
Wait, so
Ja, ik kan
Wat
ook Nederlands praten, geen probleem. Ik kan ook Nederlands up in this bitch.
Kom, gepaf in de auto.
Ja,
See, this
domme
is
hoer.
why other countries should not attempt
Godverdamme.
rap.
We gaan lekker een bakje
hey,
koffie drinken.
How do you say lizard in German?
Exe.
Exer. How do you say
Yeah,
alligator?
that's why we have jokes about your ex-girlfriend and everything, because you're ex, and it's like exe, and it's like, you know.
It's a lizard.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
but you want to
lizard.
know what the common term is for a cell phone? It's a handi.
Yeah,
And-
it is.
Handy. Handy.
That is my
Hand job,
handy.
Literally like a hand job. Handy.
Yeah.
Not
Nice.
handy.
Fucking
Not
love it.
handy. What the fuck are you talking about? Handy. Handy. Just a handy.
That I was trying to
Okay.
save you the embarrassment.
Sorry.
Why?
you know,
I
if
had
you-
Andy yelled at me, so
Just give me more, daddy, please.
oh, thank you. Finally, a gentleman who knows how
Yeah,
to
of
speak
course,
with
I'm a
my language.
gentleman.
Klövjool.
No, I
Klövjool.
actually got so fucking
Still my
uptight, stuck
favorite.
up about the English part that I made fun of Germans with the German accent. I got so fucking, I started hating the German accent so much in English.
Magic heeft toch ook not nodig?
Time, Kai reminds me from time to time that I still have like a bit of a German accent, but
A bit?
I like to think that I don't. So
And the only time it ever comes up is when somebody says, like, you know, oh, well, you know, no matter how, you know, you have an American accent while speaking that language. We're like, what do you think y'all sound like in English? We like, well, you still have an American accent when you say it. Yeah, I pretty much expect that no matter what. You think you motherfuckers are passing for American all of a sudden? Like, Jesus Christ,
Well,
it's how it works.
mean-
Very few of us match dialectical fluency in a foreign language.
yes. Well, actually, I know a few. Like my girl from Texas, she's doing pretty well with Spanish.
Wait, if your girl's in Texas, why are you in Canada?
I'm in Germany.
I thought
That's
you
even
said you were
worse.
I thought you said you were in Canada building igloos.
I have babes all over the planet.
She goes to a different high school. You wouldn't know her.
Mr. International, I see.
No,
Absolutely.
she goes to a different high school. You wouldn't know her.
Oh.
Nah, she's like half Dutch, half Texan, whatever.
Try
That
having a
would
visual
not be-
accent while doing sign language. I've heard of this.
I have seen it.
I've never seen examples of it though.
California
the
accents are
American one is
fucking
different
weird.
From the Chinese one. It's just different.
I have fucking friends in the Pentagon. Fuck y'all.
Okay.
Well, I wouldn't actually call them actual friends. But
Klufjol.
I
What, they're just,
know
like-
people. I know
You came here to
people.
flex.
I've
Klufjol.
been places.
Oh, international hoes, friends in the
Yes,
Pentagon.
I
Fuck.
actually hold myself out to a gay United Airlines hostess, and we become really good friends. And obviously, I told him I'm straight, like no hopes, whatever. But obviously, he didn't buy it because that's like the, you know. I gotta be careful here.
God,
Yes,
this was
no,
a
no, no, I
whole
get
lot
you,
of
I get
build.
you.
Holy
So yeah,
God.
no, it was beautiful. Like he took me to the States and everything, visited his family, visited the friends, went to a marine pool party and shit in fucking Maryland. You know, the usual.
The huge.
Yeah, I know. It sounded almost like that. That's the most American. I think you sound like. Oh, the huge from New York. While you visited my sister. My sister, she lives in New York. Her name is Fanny. She's from Queens.
I'm walking here.
Klufjol.
Yeah, you're walking here.
I'm walking here. Hey, it's the fucking New York. What are you talking about? I'm
What
falling
the
out of a building. Hey,
What Mario Brothers accent was that supposed to be?
That
That'd
was
be-
from New York.
that'd be-
stereotypical
that would be
Italian New
Mario
Yorker,
Brothers
right?
the
Constantly
movie,
falling
by the
out of-
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly. As best played by a Brit.
Constantly just falling out of a building. Hey, I'm walking here. What are you talking about?
No, hey, I wanted to ask, what part of Germany are you from?
Klufjol.
Like east, west?
Southwest. No. Here's the thing. Let's. I gotta rep my
East
town.
side.
I'm not a big fan of like localized, well, not a nationalist, nothing like that. But I gotta represent. I'm from the town that came up with the fucking COVID vaccine. You can thank me.
Klufjol.
Oh, okay, thank
I
you.
had nothing to
It's-
do with it, but I'm still gonna take a little bit
Bump.
of that fucking
Right.
pride.
Okay.
Mine's.
I'm not gonna look it up.
Mine's
Mine's-
MAINZ.
Wait,
Yeah.
then why are you being so shitty about the Austrians?
What the fuck does that have to do with
It's
it?
like the Aussies in New Zealand. They have they
Oh.
like to shit on each other.
Well, I think it's a lot
I'm just
more
saying
like
he's
the
probably got
American
family
North.
over there.
Well, we kind of shit
Well,
on them
it's
because
all-
they gave us Hitler.
It's all
basically
the
just-
same.
it's Hitler.
Europe,
Hey.
like
It's
Western
Hitler
Europe
and
is
it's
one
all the-
giant
it's all the
inbred
fucking
region.
child- it's all the fucking child fucking and fucking sex slave embasements and shit like that. That's mostly why we.
And there we go. The Aussie coming in with fucking Kiwi sheep shaggers. Okay. It's a thing.
Exactly,
It's like
Zealot.
it's
You
like
got it. You
France
got
and
it, Zealot.
England. It's like New Zealand and Australia. They,
I mean, it's based on truth.
you know,
Hey, at least both of those locations are divided by water.
Well, yeah, but also like Americans have the stereotype. Oh, everybody in Alabama fucks their sister, and I'm sure you have the same thing about a certain Habsburg royalty.
No, I have family from Alabama.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
So
not going
you
to finish
fuck
that
the
sentence. I don't. I'm not there.
Ah,
Fair enough.
Okay.
Like as soon as you cross the state lines, it's
Ace.
basically a requirement.
Ace with, I'm personally not a fan of shitting on anyone. Huge turnoff.
Everybody's
Well,
got their
you know,
kink.
I like to shit on Bavarians because Bavarians are on average like the most
What?
nationalistic people.
What?
I'm not gonna kink
I
shame.
went to Bavaria. I
You
love
know, I
Bavaria.
mean, I don't hate all Bavarians.
I hear they have good
there's
beer.
a few good ones. There's some good
Oh,
Bavarians.
some of the good ones.
They have chocolate.
Some of the good ones. Can
It's
we?
a running gag of mine. I'm sorry.
They have chocolate. It's fine.
It's German on German racism. It's fine. Come on, get over it.
It's nationalism.
So now you're mounting Germans.
No, I'm literally doing these jokes
Okay.
because they're the most nationalistic ones.
All
It's
right,
literally
everyone.
like a fucking
All right,
sarcasm.
all right. We're gonna call this. This gives me an out. We're not even. We're just. We're
Did
just.
meat provide you an out?
Aw.
No. Oh well, yeah, that too. Holy shit, I just saw that. Standard thing. We're gonna raid Curio. I'm gonna go hang out at my dive bar. And you know, kaisthings.com, kasthings.com. Hope you're as well as you can be. I don't know what my
wait.
streaming schedule is gonna look like.
Jesus.
The rest of this week. I don't know if I'm gonna stream like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, whatever the fuck. But I'm off weekends, so we'll see how it shapes up. Either way, yeah. Hope you guys stick around. See you over at Curios. For the people on the line, thanks for joining me. Tiny
And
Hat.
avoid Austrians.
Yeah, thanks for the first time. Technically second time through. Rabbit, Joe, and Sue, who was here earlier. All right, let's go raid Curio.
Austrians are fine. Austrians are cool.
I'm probably gonna go to bed now.
Except that fucking
Nice meeting you
like,
guys.
little-
Bye-bye.
All right, catch you later, Hat.
Sleep well.
All right.
Oh god, that was fun.